you need to call the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. We have the gutter helmet, which will keep you from cleaning out the inside of your gutters for as long as you own the home. We can also replace the existing gutters. We can replace any rotten wood. We're a one-stop shop company that can take care of all your home improvement needs, whether it's gutters, windows, siding, doors, roofing. We really can turnkey the whole project and make an easy, comfortable payment through some of our 12-month interest-free financing options, and then you get a lifetime warranty at the end of it all.
12 months interest-free?
You heard that right.
12 months interest-free. AluminumCompany.com.
Charlie did not die from an overdose. Charlie was poisoned.
No other family should go through this. It's just horrific.
Go to safe.pharmacy. Use the free tool. Learn if the online pharmacy you're using is safe.
How did Babbel become the award-winning language learning app? We thought of you. All of you. Take Sierra. As a visual learner, she uses Babbel's wordplay videos.
Today I'll share a quick lesson on shopping in French.
Merci beaucoup. Malcolm is a listening learner, so he checks with Babbel's speech recognition to be
Precio.
However you learn, Babbel makes it easy. Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it. Go to RichieLaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's RichieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We'll keep chances for isolated showers and storms through this evening. It'll be a hot afternoon with highs in the mid-90s. Even hotter on Friday with highs in the mid to upper 90s, with more chances for isolated to scattered showers and storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 273 points today to 44,528.
Bryce in the pocket, steps up, eludes the rush, throws end zone, caught, Adam Thielen, touchdown!
He'll toss it that way to Hampton, and he is in. Touchdown, Carolina.
Bailey, shotgun, snap left hashes, QB keeper, dives forward, touchdown. Bailey is third of the night.
Cooper faces up with 5 and 4, drives Davis, spins, waiting, fades away, and hits! Game over! Series over! Sebastian!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Thursday. Guess who's producing the show today?
Who?
Dennis Cox. Back. Band is back together for the first time in a while and for the foreseeable future. We're settling in, and that makes sense because less than a week from now, the Carolina Panthers are opening training camp. Less than a week from now, we will be at ACC Media Days. Sports are getting back. Yesterday was the what do they call it? The solstice of sports. The day after the MLB All-Star Game, the only day on the calendar, or one of 2 days on the calendar, that have no NFL, MLB, NHL, or NBA games. The day before and after the All-Star Game. Fun fact. So yesterday was that day. We're past it. Now we don't have a day without the big four sports for another 360-something days. And that is awesome. And you know what else is awesome? The big 3 at 3. Let's jump in.
Number 1.
Don't let Bill Belichick get hot. Bill Belichick on the recruiting front starting to get hot. Yesterday, I believe a real up and down day for the Belichick lovers out there. During the day, we get the news that he and the Tar Heels, although, head coach, get the praise so I'll say he. Belichick flipped Jacob Weatherspoon, a 4-star safety who had been committed to Ohio State, flipped to UNC, flipped to the Tar Heels. Weatherspoon is from Avon, Ohio, and had been committed to Ohio State for over 6 months. That's a different kind of recruiting win. Going into Ohio and flipping a long-time commit to the Ohio State Buckeyes? Goodness gracious, that's a good feeling if you're UNC. Especially because, and we had Joel Bryant from High School OT on the show earlier this week to talk about it, right? There's UNC only has 2 of the top 20 recruits from inside the state of North Carolina for the 2026 recruiting class. Well, okay, go into Ohio and get one of their best recruits from Ohio State. That'll ease the burn a little bit. Now, the down would be then the ESPYs took place, and Shane Gillis had some jokes that I'm sure Belichick and his girlfriend didn't particularly love. Some jokes about the age difference and all of that. So, if you got to suffer a few jokes about you, but you get to fall back on, you got a stud safety to flip from Ohio State to UNC. I still think it's a net win for UNC. And by the way, that's not the only thing I'm talking about when it comes to Bill Belichick getting hot on the recruiting trail. There's some other big wins, which we'll talk about in about 10 minutes here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Quarterback news, linebacker news, recruiting news for the Tar Heels. Starting to feel like something's brewing. That's number 1. Let's get to the big 3 at 3. Number 2.
Number 2.
Nic Scourton, the second-round draft pick of the Carolina Panthers, still unsigned. Now, this is big news and developing news for a few reasons. The Texans went ahead and upset everybody. Okay, let's just call it what it is. The Texans gave their second-round pick, Jaden Higgins, wide receiver out of Iowa State. Said Ohio State so many times I just wanted to there. Iowa State. They gave him a fully guaranteed contract, which is not the norm for second-round picks. So coming into around this time yesterday, 30 of 32 second-round picks were unsigned, and darn near every rookie from every other round had been signed because the second-round picks now were going, wait a second, we want fully guaranteed contracts too, which that's not great for anybody involved as far as having your second-round picks ready to play. Late last night, Niners second-rounder Alfred Collins, a defensive tackle, kind of broke the seal. He signed. He got 88% of his contract fully guaranteed. And since then, we've seen 4, 5, 6, I don't know the exact number, but they're streaming in now. Up till 2 minutes before we went on air, RJ Harvey, the running back for Denver, second-round pick, he has agreed to a contract. So they're flooding in. The reason why this matters to the Panthers is Nic Scourton, their second-round pick, is really important for the Carolina Panthers. This is not one of those second-round picks who you drafted for depth and if you need him due to an injury. This was not a player who you drafted because his raw skills were so tantalizing that you're hoping, 2 years in the NFL system he could turn into No, this is a player you drafted because you need him to play right now. And with training camp close, right? You're not the Chargers are in training camp right now. And their second-round pick, wide receiver Trey Harris, still hasn't played. And Mike Williams, one of their wide receivers, retired today. So they have a little bit more urgency. But if I'm the Panthers, I don't want it to get anywhere near practice time, right? When they're on the field playing, I think Nic Scourton is really, really important that he is out there practicing because he needs to be ready to go week 1.
The nice thing is, though, for Nic Scourton is that he did all the offseason stuff. Like, he did rookie minicamp, he did all the OTAs, he was at mandatory minicamp, which you're allowed to do if you're not under contract as a rookie. So he was at everything. Mm-hmm. So if he does get the deal done by the time training camp starts, guess what? You pick up right where you left off.
100%. And I'm not. And by the way, that's not allowed moving forward. Up until this point, OTAs, minicamps, all of those things, you can participate in without a signed contract. Yep. Once you get to training camp, that's not allowed. You can't be there. You can't practice. You can't do any of it until you have a signed contract. So basically what I'm saying is I am refreshing my Twitter feed over and over and over again, just wanting to take the stress out of my life. Right? It's not panic time, but it's like it sure would be nice.
I think rookies for the Panthers report on Monday.
Okay, so
like Monday
let's
would be
not
kind
push
of
it to the
day.
weekend.
Yeah.
Let's not push it. I mean, you could take it all the way up till Sunday night, but let's not.
Don't worry about that.
Let's please not do that. But I do think he is legitimately that important for the Carolina Panthers. Again, not drafted for depth or anything like that. Drafted pretty seriously to play at a position of need for the Panthers. And finally, the Big 3 at 3 wraps up with number 3.
Number 3.
The Open Championship is going on over there in Europe, in Royal Portrush, one of the most legendary courses in the history of golf. And you can listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. There is a 5-way tie for first place right now. Jacob Skov Olesen, Hao Tong Lee, Christian Bezuidenhout, and I pronounce that wrong every time, Harris English, the American, and Matt Fitzpatrick, all in a 5-way tie for first at 4 under par. The only one still on the course, Harris English, and he is through 14. If you're looking for the big names, Matt Fitzpatrick is one of them, tied for first. Scotty Scheffler, 1 stroke off the lead. He is done for the day in the clubhouse, tied for 6th, but like I said, 1 stroke off the lead, 3 under par. Other big names, John Rahm in a tie for 20th. He snapped at a fan. That's always fun. Didn't like that somebody whistled in his backswing. 1 under par, tied for 20th, as I mentioned. Rory McIlroy is grinding. Got under par, back over par. He is even through 14 in a tie for 33rd. And some other names here, Hovland, Justin Thomas tied for 47th. They're 1 over par. A lot of golf left to be played at the Open Championship. Open Championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership. You can catch those updates throughout the weekend right here on 99.9 The Fan. And a local update on the Open Championship. Ben Griffin, UNC golfer, Raleigh native, who's been hot as of late, won a couple times on tour, in contention a whole bunch more. I wouldn't say the best opening round. He is 3 over in a tie for 99th, and he is done for the day in the clubhouse with that tie for 99th. And there's one other local that I was hoping to update everybody on. If I can find yes, there he is. Akshay Bhatia, a resident of Wake Forest in the Triangle, 2 over par in for the day, tied for 76. So if you're rooting for the guys with local ties, they are both over par and have some work to do to see the weekend. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis is back. That was the Big 3 at 3. And don't let Bill Belichick get hot. Recruiting updates that show Bill Belichick may be hitting his stride. Stick around.
Is your heating and air system handling the hot weather okay? Call Newcomb & Company to ensure your system is running at peak performance. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs. Newcomb & Company, your independent trained dealer, has proudly served our community for more than 70 years, delivering reliable comfort and peace of mind. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hey, daydreamer. Did we catch you thinking about your dreams? With Wells Fargo Premier, a team can help you plan for them. So let's imagine your biggest dream. Not the easy one, the one behind it. The one you work towards every day and every night. Can you see it? Then we can help you plan for it. Ready to start planning for your dreams? You can at wellsfargo.com/getpremier.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon, you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
You'll be one smart cookie when you try Bluebell Cookie Cake Ice Cream. A sweet cream ice cream loaded with chocolate chip cookie cake pieces and swirls of chocolate and vanilla icing. This cookie cake ice cream really takes the cake.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
For Bluebell ice cream, available at Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Wake moving up front. Carolina will hand to Hampton. Leaps over the pile. Is hit at the 4. Let's go! His way in for the touchdown. Hampton was met midair and would not be stopped.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's still one of my favorite plays from all of last college football season. It doesn't make sense. Omarion Hampton was met in air and somehow regained force moving forward without touching the ground. It's unbelievable. By the way, the Chargers are in training camp, so Omarion Hampton out there practicing. See what he does at the next level while we focus in on his former team, the UNC Tar Heels. Bill Belichick might have something going here. I'm going to tell you the moment that's happening with Bill Belichick right now, and the UNC Tar Heels as a recruiting entity, as a program. It feels a bit like when Steph Curry starts like 1 for 9 from 3, and then he hits 4 straight with a hand in his face, and you're like, he might have gotten it going. He might be on fire. Right? It's that, like, I know he didn't have it, but whatever that click is where it's now he sees it and good defenders have hands in his face and he's knocking it down anyway, or he's stepping back to the logo and knocking them down. I'll be the first to say I thought Bill Belichick would step into the college football world and darn near go around like he's at the grocery store and doesn't have a budget. I'll take some of those. I'll take some of those. I want these. Like, not looking at prices, not just grabbing what he wants. Didn't work out that way. Right? The 5 stars didn't just, like, against their will, gravitationally pulled to Chapel Hill. But he's hit 3 or 4 threes with a hand in his face from distance, and now I'm going, he might have caught rhythm. We talked about it in the Big 3 at 3. 4-star safety Jacob Weatherspoon flipped his commitment yesterday from Ohio State to North Carolina. 6 foot, 180-pound safety from Ohio that had been committed to Ohio State for over 6 months. Flipped to UNC. But it's not just that. They also received a commitment less than a week ago from 4-star linebacker Calvin Thomas. He committed to Carolina. He is a 6'3", 220-pound linebacker from Houston. That's Houston, Texas. Do you know what his final 5 were? The teams he was choosing from, he had whittled down the list of teams that were interested in him to 5 teams. UNC, Texas, SMU, Michigan, and Nebraska. Now, it's impressive to beat a Michigan or a Nebraska in a recruiting battle, right? They've got cash, they've got prestige, they've got a lot of things going for them. But getting a Houston, Texas linebacker to choose you over Texas and come to North Carolina, that's a deep 3 with a hand in your face. And then there's other little recruiting wins, such as one of their committed players that's already been committed, quarterback Travis Burgess. Now, when he committed to North Carolina, he was a good prospect, not a great prospect when you look at the recruiting sites and the rankers. But guess what? Yesterday, that same day they received the Ohio State flip commitment, Travis Burgess was a part of the updated 247 top rankings, right? So they occasionally reevaluate, do the math and come up with a reordered list. So when 247, I should say, updated their recruiting rankings, the biggest riser in the entire rankings, Travis Burgess, quarterback committed to UNC. He started the offseason as the number 27 quarterback in the country. He is now all the way up to number 7 in the country. Apparently lit it up in some camps, lit it up in some elite quarterback camps. People are starting to notice. If the recruiting rankings were to end right now, right? Because obviously if he's a huge riser, there could be a faller, right? So we don't know what it'll end up being when these recruiting rankings are done. But if it were to end today, he would be the second highest UNC commitment ever. Drake May, the only one higher.
You're talking about specifically a quarterback or just
UNC's, second ever quarterback commit, ranked in the top 100.
Okay. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good, and it's a different kind of recruiting win, right? It's one thing to go grab a 4-star, right, and you bring them in, and they're the top recruiter or whatever, and you bring them in as that. It's another to evaluate a player who's maybe a 3-star, evaluate a player who's, one of the top 30 ranked quarterbacks and go, this dude is legit. Let's give a ton of energy to recruiting him. Let's go get him. And then have everyone else go, oh, you were right. Yeah, he is. He's way better than the rankings say, right? It's like you were, for lack of a better term, you're kind of a recruiting hipster there, right? You're the one that got the cassette when they were playing in a garage somewhere. Now they're playing arenas and everybody's like, they're my favorite band. And you get to say, yeah, they've got platinum records now. I got their demo from their, their cousin who told me about it, and I've been listening to them since blah, 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 blah. Only instead of being just a kind of pretentious music fan, you're Bill Belichick and you're running a Power 4 football team.
Well, isn't that kind of his thing that he was known for in the NFL? Like, take the guy who's kind of overlooked or like maybe undervalued and like find the basically kind of take advantage of other teams, their market inefficiencies in order to find players and stuff. I mean, that's kind of what his shtick was in the NFL. But still, to be able to flip a 4-star guy from Ohio State, it's not like Ohio State doesn't have money.
For better and worse, that was his. Because his reputation early on was exactly what you're saying, right? You draft a Kent State quarterback in the 7th, and it turns into a 100-yard receptions wide receiver. Like, he found those. That's Edelman. But then towards the end, it became more like you're drafting guys you could have got in the 3rd round at the end of the 1st.
Yeah.
And if they weren't panning out, like he did, again, reputationally kind of jump the shark with it. And like, you don't have to be way smarter than everyone every time, right? Or you can keep your diamonds in the rough hidden and get them as values later on. If you think you can get them in the late 2nd, you don't have to draft them in the late 1st, that kind of deal.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with going and getting the stud player too.
Yes.
Which like when you're flipping in my mind, when you're flipping a 4-star guy from Ohio State that's from Ohio, it's like, I'm going to go ahead and get that stud guy too.
That's what I like about this. That's why I feel like it's a moment now where everything is like, it's the Steph Curry thing. He hit 3 straight threes on 3 straight possessions, and you're just like, is he going to score 60? Are we going to see 12 threes right now? Is he going to catch fire? Because it's not just one thing, right? It's not just that he's signing good players, which it would be awesome, right? Don't get me wrong, right? If you just sign, 2 4-stars and a 3-star, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But when you add the context of a linebacker from Houston chooses you over Texas, a 6-month Ohio State 4-star commit flips from Ohio State to North Carolina, and the position that's rising up all the rankings isn't just some random, edge rusher or interior offensive. It's a quarterback that's now up to one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the country and rising. That's like, oh, yeah. Right? Just like, if Steph Curry hits a corner 3 with no hand in his face, it's like, all right, that's good. But it's when he does the thing where he, between the legs, around the back, uses the screen, then denies the screen, then steps back, falls as he lets it go. He turns around and shimmies, and it goes in. It's like, okay, this one's different. He's feeling it. Bill Belichick in North Carolina are feeling it right now. They're feeling it. And they're doing it their way. That's kind of the reputation thing, right? They're not just going after the highest-ranked guys. Sometimes I think coaches get infatuated with that, where they just chase every 5-star, or they just chase and they don't think fit, or they don't think they don't stop to think, is this player actually 5-star worthy, or am I just infatuated with the competition of beating out all the other coaches that want this 5-star? To me, they're seeing the field well, and that's on top of the strategy they had to use for this year. Because this year, like I said, they didn't just open a faucet and have 5 stars pour into Chapel Hill. They had to do a lot more than that. 41 transfers coming in for this upcoming year. Now, we've had conversations about mostly basketball. We have these conversations when a new coach comes in, because it's so much of a smaller roster. You think like year one, pretty much got to build darn near the whole thing in the transfer portal. And then year 2 a little less, year 3, your transfer portal guys should kind of be, just the filling of gaps that you have. But I guess football, it's the same thing, right? So Bill Belichick came in, 41 transfers, which does kind of, I don't want to say taint, but it does kind of put a different vibe on the fact that 247 has them as the 9th best transfer portal class of the year, because, a team might have 20 recruits that are all 4 stars, and then you have 41 that are 3 stars, and it's like, oh, ours is better. We have more value coming in, and it's, quantity over quality. But it's not just that for UNC. They are tied for 7th in the country with 7 4 or 5 star transfers. So they do have, you take away the bottom 10, they're still going to be one of the top transfer classes in the country. It's not just a volume thing. So to me, the first year, yeah, they had to take probably more transfers than they wanted. They need more ready-to-play guys because it's a new coach and you need to get your system and guys you like. And he was bringing in a bunch of assistants from other college programs that were able to turn around and say, hey, guy that I was your position coach for last year at a different school, why don't you come on over here, right?
Yeah.
His son, Steve Belichick, was at Washington as a defensive coordinator. A couple of pretty good players from Washington, now in Chapel Hill. So there's this year's a little different. Looking towards 2026, that's what I was talking about with all these flips and big names.
I'm curious how long it's going to take for them to gel as a team in terms of, like you said, 41 new guys as transfers. That doesn't even count the incoming freshmen and all that as well. New system. You don't have preseason games. You don't have, joint practices with other teams like you have in the NFL. Like, how long does it take for them to actually figure out what they truly have?
It's
because we can look at individual pieces, but in terms of putting it together, we don't know what the final product is going to look like.
It's going to be fascinating. And I know these two teams don't like to be compared, but last year, even though the volume wasn't there, everybody was so excited about NC State's transfer class because, again, it wasn't 41 players, but it was a former 5-star wide receiver, the top tight end in the portal, the one of the top quarterbacks, one of the top offensive linemen. They had actually it was like 3 or 4 wide receivers. Everybody was really excited about it. Oklahoma running back. And then you could see that it didn't all gel right away. And I actually think that's part of the reason why they're being slept on this year. Because I think after a year, some of those guys may mesh a little bit better, right? Noah Rogers, Hollywood Smothers, Justin Jolie may all kind of work better this year. So UNC has to do it quicker than that if they want to have success this year. But whether they do or don't this year, looks like Bill Belichick has a decent grasp on the recruiting for the following year if he's able to keep all these verbal commitments committed, which, in modern football is far from a guarantee. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of the college sports world, we have the Dean's List coming up. And speaking of being on a heater, Tim Donnelly here from Mainer Service Company, where they can fix your heater or also your cooling system or also your plumbing or also your electrical, right? I talk a lot about players being electric. It's exciting. Player hits a bunch of threes. Coach gets rolling from recruiting standpoint. A quarterback has like 15 consecutive completions, but it's just as much a bummer when that electricity runs out. When you're on 15 straight completions, now he's 0 for 6 since then, and he's taken 2 sacks. Well, in life, that's kind of similar. You got a party going. You got the music going. You got the strobe light flashing. You got food in the fridge, and then the power goes out or an electric fuse or something in your breaker box or anything goes wrong with your electricity. That's a bummer. That's when you got to call Mainer Service Company. Or if your plumbing goes wrong or your cooling or your heating, any of them. They do it all. Mainer Service Company is a fantastic number to have in your phone at all times because when those types of things happen, Googling, looking up ratings, trying to figure it out. Is this local or is this a national? Do they cover? Is it 24/7? Are they open? Are they nearby? How about this? Put Mainer Service Company in your phone. I'll give you the phone number here in a second. And be confident that they are a part of your community, that they service the entire triangle no matter where you are in this area, and 24/7 service. And excellent technicians with friendly customer service and an excellent knowledge of every kind of system you could have in your house. Because I've been to their warehouse, and I can tell you this. The technology has changed. I don't pretend to be like an HVAC expert, but if you look at an HVAC system from 20 years ago or an HVAC system this year or a hot water heater from 20 years ago or a new hot water heater, they're very, very different. The technology has gotten a bunch more technology. There you go, right? More wires, more boards, more all that kind of stuff. Manor Service Company has stayed up to date on servicing them all, which is nice to know. The number I promised you is right here. Phone number for Manor Service Company, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at manorservices.com, MAYNOR services.com. We have the Dean's List coming up next. We'll pass along some accolades and some praise. Stick around.
Did you catch Luisito's header? Yeah, I just recorded it on my new Samsung A36 5G phone I got for free at Total Wireless.
Oh, I'm actually live streaming the whole match with my new Samsung Tab A9 that I also got free at Total Wireless.
I got that tablet too.
And I got that phone too. We both got both. Go!
Switch to Total Wireless and get both the Samsung A36 5G and the Samsung Tab A9 for free. For a limited time while supplies last, valid in store. Requires new phone activation on the Total 5G Unlimited plan or higher external port and ID verification and new activation on the Total 5G Unlimited 6-month tablet plan. Restrictions apply.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. If you're in the market for a mortgage, good luck. Comparing apples to oranges is now more challenging than ever, as we've noticed a return to 80s-style lending with multiple points being charged up front in order to make the payment appear more attractive. Typically, the lowest rate quote you find will have the highest closing cost you'll find, as numerous lenders play this game of getting you to focus only on the payment and not the $15,000 due at closing. On refinancing, it's even worse, as lenders willingly add these costs to your loan amount. At Miller Lending, we don't believe in closing costs. By working with our popular no-cost program, you simply close on today's rates and refinance anytime you'd like. Nothing rolled in, nothing charged at closing. Imagine having the freedom to take advantage of smaller rate drops, opportunities to drop PMI, or simply put that money to better use. So before you throw away thousands of dollars in needless fees, pick up the phone and call Miller Lending today, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender and MLS number 250-2146.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake, just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security, with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Stitches, itches, aches, and pains. Strep and sinus, minor sprains. Pink eye, earaches, fever, flu. Virtual visits, physicals too. At WakeMed MyCare 365, we offer both walk-in primary care and urgent care. So find the MyCare location nearest you at wakemed.org. Walk right in, and for just about anything from asthma, rashes, and examinations to x-rays, labs, and vaccinations, make MyCare your care.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your priceless vinyl collection. Sure, you sleep on a futon because the money most people would have spent on a bed you spent on more records. But forget the fact that you can stream just about any song ever created for a few dollars a month. No, you need to listen to music in the most difficult way possible. So go ahead and get Progressive so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Groovin'. By the way, before we get to the Dean's List, and we will get to the Dean's List, you have just 2 more opportunities to become one of the finalists for our Win Your Weight and Meet competition. So, before 4 o'clock today, you want to make sure you text in BEEF to 919-860-5326, because at 4 o'clock, we will register our 9th out of 10 finalists in our Win Your Weight and Meet competition. If you text in BEEF before 4, you might get a call from us at 4 o'clock. We will randomly select one of you that has texted in BEEF, that's the key word, to 919-860-5326. today and tomorrow, both at 4 o'clock p.m., are the last chances we have to register a finalist. Then on Monday, one of the 10 finalists that we'll have will be randomly selected to win their weight in meat.
Be ready to answer the phone.
That's the other thing. If you don't answer the first time, we give you 5 minutes to call back. And if you don't, we go on to the next. And you might have literally passed up a free your weight in meat. So 919-860-5326, text in beef, and then have your phone on. Put it on loud if you have to. If it's on vibrate, make sure you can feel it at 4 o'clock today and tomorrow. All right? I think that's what you need to know. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from NC farmers. You do have to answer one question on air to be a finalist, but it's simple. We've managed to make it happen with every single one that's picked up the phone. All of it brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. Dennis, you haven't been here. What do we? If you win your weight in beef, if you're meat, what's the plan? Grilling, smoking, steaks, what cut? Any specifics?
I like to have a little variety.
Okay,
that's smart. The thing. Like if I can get a little mixture of maybe a couple ribeyes, New York strip, sirloin, but also get some ground beef in there as well. Just kind of mix things up a little bit. Some stew meat. Just to kind of keep a variety of different things going on.
And that is possible because when you win your weight in meat, it's a lot of meat.
And I am not a light person. I can tell you that right now.
That's funny. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump into the Dean's List. Classes in session. This is where we highlight those that deserve a little extra praise that is at least indirectly related to the college sports world. Somehow, a local team, the better. We'll start with Holton Ahlers, former ECU quarterback, Greenville, North Carolina native. He has been a member of the Spring League, right? The kind of other league going on in
the XF, USF,
yeah.
UF.
I default to calling them all the Spring League. But he's been with the Arlington Renegades.
Okay.
He has announced his retirement.
Okay.
And the team, the Renegades, was still interested in having him back for next year. He even on his podcast said he believes he could have played 5 to 8 more years in pro football. I'm just going to say this. I know it's not the NFL, but not many guys get to retire from football on their own terms. Not many guys get to turn down opportunities to keep playing and end their career kind of when they feel comfortable with it, which is apparently what happened here. He got married in June. He's planning on launching a business, and he just kind of decided now's the time to move on and do something else. And then shout out to ECU. They get a little side note here because in looking this up, I did see in June he posted like wedding pictures, wedding party, all that kind of stuff. And the caption said, thankful the ECU Pirates football brought me most of these people, family for life.
Nice.
So, seems like football did well for him, and now he's moving on.
Well, he's from Greenville.
Yeah, Greenville, North Carolina.
If I remember correctly, his father's the PA announcer of ECU football. So, I mean, he's been an ECU guy pretty much his whole life. Like local kid. He was a great college quarterback. I think he even had a cup of coffee with the Seahawks like during training camp.
Yes.
Maybe even was like on their practice squad.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the Seahawks, but I know he was in a camp, and I know there may have been a point where like a quarterback above him on the depth chart was hurt or holding out or something, and I don't think he got like game time, but there were a couple practices where they were like, we really need Holton Ahlers to step up for us. So credit to him. And
yeah, it was the Seahawks. Because I think they drafted Hendon Hooker around the same time as well.
Hooker was with the Lions. We're now just guessing.
Yeah, no, we're just all out there.
But still, Ahlers gets to retire on his own terms. That's, again, doesn't happen often, so good for him. Do you have a Dean's List that you'd like to throw out there?
I do have a couple. I know the ESPYs were yesterday.
They were.
I know UNC Women's Lacrosse was nominated for Best Team. They went undefeated this past season, winning a national championship. So I know they were in there. Then I think also, remember correctly, Cooper Flagg was nominated for Best College Athlete.
So we can throw out the so Cooper Flagg won Best Male College Athlete. Incoming, so obviously Duke basketball player. Incoming Duke basketball player Cam Boozer won the Gatorade Player of the Year, which is all sports for high school, male side. And the women's lax for UNC, and I believe there another
Chloe Humphrey from the team was like breakout female athlete.
They won the Capital One Cup or whatever it was. So 2 of the women's teams for UNC were on stage and honored as the representatives for UNC winning the Capital One Cup is the overall best program. So there was quite a few local ties there at the ESPYs that were honored. So congratulations to all of the athletes that earned nominees and wins and all of that. And just for getting dressed up and doing the red carpet thing, right? Athletes don't get to do that often. I never have. Next one on the Dean's List. I have 2 separate Summer League points to make here, NBA Summer League.
Okay.
We'll start with the Duke basketball players in Summer League action. As of right now, or actually as of yesterday, I don't know if games have played since then. The top individual scoring games in the Vegas Summer League this year, tied for number 1, Kyle Filipowski and Tyrese Proctor have 35-point games. Number 2, Kyle Filipowski, or 3 technically. Kyle Filipowski with 32 points. Number 4, Cooper Flagg with 31 points. So the 4 highest individual scoring games have come from Duke players that were either drafted this year or last year. That's pretty good for guys trying to, build up their cachet in the league. Next NBA Summer League action, shout out to former UNC guard Leaky Black. Had a great game, and one of those games that, UNC fans are like, of course, but hasn't been seen in the NBA a ton. Started for his team. He was with the Wizards. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. That's a stat sheet stuffer in a loss to the Utah Jazz. But, it's more about individuals in Summer League than overall. And then last one here for you. Have to give a Dean's List nod to Andy Staples of On3 and CJ Bailey. Because earlier this week, I went on a long rant about how USA Today ranked all of the quarterbacks for the ACC and had CJ Bailey at 15th out of 17 and how ridiculous that was. And I pointed out all these guys above him that didn't have as good seasons and yada, yada, yada. Andy Staples, longtime guy that's covered college sports. He works for On3 now. He put out his list ranking all of the ACC quarterbacks. CJ Bailey was 6th.
Sounds about right.
How in the world can 2 national publications be 9 different on a player? I do agree more with On3. His list went Klubnik, Mensah, Beck, Jennings, King, Bailey. That makes a lot of sense to me. Then Gio Lopez was next. So all 3 of the triangle quarterbacks were in the top 7, which I think makes more sense than whatever the heck USA Today was doing. So, if you're gonna do a long segment bashing a bad ranking, I think you need to do at least a minute here praising a good one.
Yeah. Give credit when it's due.
Exactly. So shout out to Andy Staples and On3. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's dismiss the Dean's List. And let's move on to the unintentionally funniest comment of the summer. But before we get to that, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. I was on vacation for the last week. I was actually out in California, and one of the areas my girlfriend and I got to explore was going up and down the Pacific Coast Highway, right there along the Pacific Coast. And let's just say I saw plenty of people on their motorcycles riding up and down the PCH. And I'll be 100% honest, I was jealous. I was jealous of seeing these people cruising up with the beautiful scenery and just on these roads, just the turns and everything with it. I was jealous of these people that were out there on their motorcycle, and I wish I was out there on mine riding up and down the Pacific Coast Highway. But something to keep in mind if you're a motorcycle rider and you are going out on these roads that are either high with tourists or with a high amount of traffic, people that aren't used to these roads, maybe you're not used to those roads yourself. Talk to people who have been up and down those areas and try to get a feel of, hey, what's the best time of year to go ride in those areas? What should you expect on those roads? Maybe people were turning off unexpectedly to go sightseeing on the Pacific Coast Highway. You got to be ready for people that might not be paying attention to you because they're looking at the scenery around you. So make sure you ride with caution if you're ever going to go riding into new areas, especially where areas or there's a lot of tourists as well. But if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact your insurance company. Law Tigers attorneys, they're part of that motorcycle riding community. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, but most importantly, know what you're going through after an accident. That's why your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free. They don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The most unintentionally hilarious quote of the offseason, of this summer, I should say, came through on my timeline today. I will pass that along to you. Coming up next, you don't want to miss it. Stick around.
It's bow time. Something new just dropped at Bojangles. Take the bold taste of a crispy golden chicken supreme that's been seasoned to perfection, then add dill pickles, Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, and a toasted bun that's great on the go. What do you get? You get a Bo's Bird Dog. In fact, you can grab 2 of them for $5. So when you're on the go, headed to practice, or need a snack, grab a Bo's Bird Dog. Hurry in before they're gone. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time, but sometimes it's go time. No time to stop, but the perfect time for a Bojangles Bird Dog. A seasoned to perfection Bojangles Chicken Supremes, dill pickles, and Carolina Gold barbecue sauce, all tucked inside a toasted bun. Great on the go. Try 2 bird dogs for just $5 or 2 bird dog combo for just $8.25. Available for limited time only. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
It's game night in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on Indy 11 this Friday, July 18th at First Horizon Stadium. Grab your tickets now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com and don't miss a moment of the action.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious.
Mountain Dew!
Do the do.
Hurry into Family Fare and get 2 20-ounce bottles of ice-cold Mountain Dew for just $4.29. Family Fare, first in thirst.
Fill your tank. Don't drain your wallet. Sam's Club lets you save time at the pump with Scan and Go checkout at Sam's Club fuel stations. Just scan the QR code on the pump and pay. Visit your local Sam's Club today.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
Tugler in on Knippel, spins, goes up, got it blocked! Guess who? Cooper Flag threw it out of bounds!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You ever hear somebody say something and you like wait to see them smile or laugh and it just doesn't come, like it never happens? So you're like, oh, you believe this. And then that makes that funnier. It's like, oh, this is unintentionally funny. Now I've got like the church giggles. Now I'm not supposed to laugh, but I can't stop. I kind of had that experience today. Cameron Boozer, one of the top recruits in the entire country, just won the Gatorade Player of the Year for high school sports. Male Player of the Year across all sports at the ESPYs last night. Gave one of the most unintentionally funny quotes. I mean, definitely of the summer, maybe longer. I'll read it for you. This was in a whole bunch of publications, but I read it first on ESPN. Cameron Boozer talking about Duke basketball. Duke. I think we have a special group. I think we're very overlooked right now. Overlooked right now is what he said about Duke basketball. But once the season starts, that'll change for sure. I think just playing together, playing hard, defending, competing, we're going to be in a spot to get to the Final Four, just like they did last year. End quote. Cameron Boozer thinks Duke basketball is being overlooked. Got to put that chip on the shoulder for the old underdog, Duke basketball.
Me and the team with all those Final Four appearances and national championships and.
Oh, that team. Yes.
Oh, yeah, that team.
I'm going to illustrate in all the ways they're not being overlooked.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe, right? Maybe I'm in this little triangle bubble, this college basketball mecca that is our area, and maybe the world is overlooking them. So I searched all of the way too early top 25s I could find, all of the post transfer portal top 25s I could find. On3 has them third in the country. USA Today has them second in the country. CBS and Fox, they hate on them so much, they have them ninth in the country. Andy Katz for NCAA.com has them second in the country going, I couldn't find anyone that had them outside the top 10.
I guess those two outside of the top 5, Tim.
You know, all those overlooked teams that people aren't paying attention to that are single digits in the country. Oh, by the way, if you think it's just that, I went and looked up NBA draft big boards for the upcoming 2026 NBA draft. Sports Illustrated has Cam Boozer 3rd, Nick Hamenia 9th, Dame Sarr 17th, Isaiah Evans 8th. They have 4 players from Duke in the top 18 picks. The Athletic hates a little more. They have 4 in the top 32. So they have 4 first-rounders, but they're all not, top half. They're all not lottery picks. Their recruiting class, the one that Cam Boozer is like the crown jewel of, their high school recruiting class was so highly ranked with the high school players, the 2 Boozers, Hamenia, a few others, that they have the number 1 ranked combined high school and transfer recruiting class in the country, according to 247 Sports, and their transfers are just one single 3-star incoming big man from Rice. So these other teams, the St. John's, the Louisvilles, these teams that brought in a ton of top transfers couldn't even catch up in rankings to Duke's high school incoming recruits. Yesterday, I'm on ESPN.com, perusing, reading, as you do when you work in sports media. I go to the college basketball tab. Guess what the top headline was? They had decided, ESPN had decided on the all-time Duke basketball roster, and it was the headline on their college basketball page. Spoiler alert, they had Reddick coming off the bench, and they had Cooper Flagg and Zion Williamson in the starting lineup. What? Keep in mind, it was July 16th, and there was no reason at all to be putting together a Duke basketball all-time starting lineup, but they did it. Why? Because they were looking at Duke. Because they weren't overlooking Duke. The Athletic is doing these top 25s of 25, right? Because it's the first 25 years of the century, so they're doing rankings of top 25 this, top 25 that. They chose Duke's 2000-2001 championship team as the best team of the last 25 years. Number 1. Now, you could argue yes or no on that. I know there's some UNC fans that thought one of their national champions should be the best team of the last 25. My point is, Duke is never overlooked. Duke is never slept on. And by the way, that's kind of part of the allure to go to Duke. You know you're getting everybody's best shot every game. You know everybody's always getting up for Duke. You know you're always going to be on national television a whole bunch. You know it, you know it, you know it. Why? Because that's why you go to Duke. His name, by the way, is Cameron Boozer. If anyone should know everything about Duke, he's named after Cameron Indoor Stadium. His dad was an All-American and national champion at Duke. He has a twin brother that is also a 5-star that is also going to Duke. Overlooked. And by the way, like I'm not knocking Duke for not being overlooked, right? It's in a weird way, it's a compliment, right? It's you don't get slept on because you've been so consistently good for a long time. It's just funny to hear. And I'll even take this one step further. Internally, believe whatever you want. It's just when you say it out loud, you're going to get clowned. I was just listening to a podcast with Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence said at Clemson that he's like, I don't know how he did it, but Dabo Swinney had us thinking we were like underdogs going into every game when we were at Clemson. And it turned out that when he would, like the game he was talking about, saying like we thought we were underdogs, at that point in time, Trevor Lawrence in his life had never lost on a Saturday. Like going back to youth. And he won all the Saturday games in college. He won all the Saturday games in high school. And he won all the Saturday games in Pop Warner. And he said somehow he convinced us we were underdogs going into this game, despite the fact he had ETN, he had Justin Ross, and he had Renfro, and he had this. Or Renfro might have been gone by then. Whatever. He had all the best players. And he's like, Dabo had us thinking we were an underdog. But you know what they didn't do? They didn't go say, people are sleeping on us. Even if internally they were yelling about it. Because when you say it out loud, it's hilarious, if we're being real. Hilarious. So, get a good laugh. And maybe this is like the lesson, right? Because he's not even a college freshman yet. Maybe this is like when you say things at Duke, you're going to be scrutinized for everything you say. It's part of not being overlooked. If you're on an overlooked team, you could probably say something like this and the scrutiny wouldn't follow because, well, no one's looking. Congratulations on your Gatorade Player of the Year at the ESPYs yesterday. I hear that happens to overlooked players a whole bunch. You win, all-sport Player of the Year for the entire country on a nationally televised award show. That chip on your shoulder is growing, isn't it? I mean, this is joking, but it's also Duke's not getting overlooked. Not even a little bit. Do you know how I know? Because we find every different way to talk about Duke basketball here on this show. Nothing's falling through our fingers. Something's got to fill July. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have football at 4 coming up next, but also during this break, somebody is going to get a call. If you texted in beef to 919-860-5326, have your phone on. You might get a chance to be one of our 10 finalists to potentially win your weight in meat if you answer the call when we make it. One of you will be randomly selected, and Dennis will give you a call here in the next couple of minutes. So make sure you have your phone on. It's all brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner, and football at 4 next.
At Wells Fargo, we know what got you into your business. Whether it's manufacturing, running a restaurant, or your business from home. What you didn't get into your business for was banking. But luckily, Wells Fargo offers business checking, payments, and lending all in one place, in your neighborhood and on our app, so you can focus on doing what you love. Wells Fargo, you're good at business, we're good at business banking. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/business. Terms apply. Wells Fargo Bank and a member FDIC.
Hey, it's Paul Eihander from 99.9 The Fan for Clayton Homes. The Sign and Save sales event is happening now at Clayton Homes and Oakwood Homes, but only through August 31st. You can save up to $5,000 instantly on your new home. That's $2,500 off a single section or $5,000 off a multi-section home. Discover the comfort, the style, and the value of a Clayton-built home, crafted with North Carolina in mind. From modern floor plans to energy-saving upgrades and premium finishes, there's a home fitting your lifestyle and, of course, your budget. And with summer heating up, it's the perfect time to enjoy Energy Smart features for year-round comfort and savings. Stop by, tour our fully furnished models, or visit manufacturedhomeoffers.com and browse limited time deals. But don't wait. The Sign and Save sales event ends August 31st. Terms and conditions for the Sign and Save sales event at manufacturedhomeoffers.com. Available only at participating retailers through 8/31. Amount of savings may be limited. Ask for details. May not be available with certain financing. Lender restrictions apply.
At Bailey's, love not only sparkles, but it also gives back. Hi, I'm Marcy Bailey. Yes, we have high-quality certified diamonds that fit your budget. But did you know that when you say I do with an engagement ring from Bailey's, a donation is made to the food bank to help feed a local family of 4 for an entire month? Celebrate your love with Bailey's, where every diamond helps create a brighter future. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted the best place to buy your diamond.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at richielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm meteorologist Grant Skinner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. We'll keep chances for isolated showers and storms through this evening. It'll be a hot afternoon with highs in the mid-90s. Even hotter on Friday with highs in the mid to upper 90s, with more chances for isolated to scattered showers and storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 269 points to 44,524.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we get to football at 4, we have to register our 9th out of 10 finalists for our Win Your Weight and Meat competition. And the person with the opportunity to do so is Richard in Durham. Richard, can you hear me?
Yes, I've got you, Tim.
All right. Well, there's just one more thing you have to do to officially be one of our 10 finalists to potentially win your weight and meat. And that's let us know how much you weigh. What are we working with?
Conservatively, I'm 272.
All right. Conservatively. I like the description of that. I do believe if you are the winner, you have to actually weigh in. So we'll take the conservative one now on air. 272. That'd be a pretty solid prize. So you are officially a finalist. I'll give you the same piece of advice I give all of our finalists. Monday, July 21st. That's this upcoming Monday at 4 o'clock. Make sure you have your phone turned on somewhere you can hear it, somewhere you will answer it, because if you are randomly selected, you're going to have to pick up to win, okay?
Yeah, got it.
Perfect. Stay on the line, and Dennis will grab some info from you, but you are officially a finalist. 272 conservatively. I like that description. We've got some, by the way, like we don't judge weights. We just have to know. It's win your weight in meat, so that's part of it. But we had a 297. We got a 272. We had a 258. You know, these are some serious prizes here. We also had 155 and some others. But once you start getting up over the 250s, that's a serious prize. All of it provided by the NC Beef Council. And the winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from NC farmers. We have one more chance for you to become a finalist. And even if you've texted in beef already, you can do so again, and you just get additional entries. Each day you can text beef one time to 919-860-5326. And if you haven't done so already, you better get it in. You better get the text in by 4 o'clock tomorrow. That'll be your last chance. The winner will be drawn on Monday. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now it is time for a little football at 4. We officially have a Carolina Panther on one of the ESPN anonymously polled NFL executives, scouts, and coaches rankings. Top 10 at their position. We got one. Jaycee Horn is a top 10 cornerback in NFL league circles. He's 7th. Is that good enough?
I think it's fair.
I agree that it's like kind of where he is in the league, and I'd probably take anywhere 7 to 9 if we're being real. But I'm saying for him moving forward, does he have to be better than that for the Panthers? That's kind of where I'm getting.
Yeah, with great money comes great expectations.
Exactly. He's paid like the 3rd best defensive back in NFL history. At the time he signed his deal, it was the most per year for a defensive back in NFL history. 2 have surpassed him by a good amount, by the way. Stingley Jr., $5 million more per year. Sauce Gardner, $5 and change million more per year than what Jaycee Horn is rocking with. So he's the 3rd highest paid, but there's a gap between 1, 2, and Jaycee. I found this interesting, and I think this is where Jaycee Horn has to take the next step. If you read the explanation, right, they have the 10 best cornerbacks, then they have, easily the most spread out position. Then they have a bunch of honorable mention and an insane amount of also receiving votes. For quarterbacks, there were 18. For cornerbacks, at least double that as far as on all of the different lists and honorable mentions and everything else. But in the description, Jaycee Horn appeared on around half the ballots. So half the ballots didn't have him in the top 10 at all. But many of his votes were in the top 3. So half the league thought this dude was a top 3 corner in the league, and half the league thought he wasn't even top 10. That's as polarizing as you can get for a player at his level. So the funny part is, right, he comes in as the 7th best corner in the league, 7th in the top 10, but almost nobody thought he was the 7th best corner in the league. That's the average, right? It's like boom or bust, right? He's either going to be an all-pro or he's going to be out of the league in 3 years. Let's say he's going to be a regular starter. It's like, even if that's not how it's going to be, he needs to eliminate the doubt, right? He needs to convert the non-believers this year. He needs to take the ones that didn't even think he was top 10 and prove them wrong. And I've talked about this. Matter of fact, we talked about it yesterday for a little bit. The way I believe he does that is you have to get your hands on the football. Because to me, the explanation there for why a player could be seen by people that dedicate their lives to evaluating football players, he can be seen as top 3 to a bunch of them and can be seen as 11 plus to a bunch of them. The way that happens is, well, how much do you think forcing turnovers is important for a corner? Right? If somebody's out there and they say, well, I'd rather have somebody that is maybe a more risk averse, or somebody that is more fundamentally sound, or somebody that is more every play doing the right thing, then they love Jaycee Horn. When healthy, they absolutely love him. But if you're somebody that comes from the camp of, if you're not forcing turnovers, you're not doing enough, you can't be elite if you're not getting your hands on the ball, you don't love Jaycee Horn. He had 1 interception last year. Came week 2. And he played 15 games. It was not like the other years where he played 6 games. He's got to get his hands on the ball. The other thing that stood out to me is, right, they grabbed the anonymous little blurbs. Like, this is what they said. A lot of the hype for Jaycee Horn is his ability to tackle, right? And your corner's supposed to be the worst tackler on the team. Not this guy. He'll come up and he'll make tackles. He had 60-something tackles, which is awesome. Love it, right? And I actually think, that's the easiest way for a defensive back to become like a leader on the team or to get everybody's respect is to be a physical corner, right? Because if you're, what did Deion Sanders say in his Hall of Fame speech? People complain that I don't tackle. Well, I tackled every bill my mama's had in the last 40 years. I've tackled, and it's, that's the bit. He didn't have to tackle to become what he is. That's only going to play if you're Deion Sanders, right? If you're Jaycee Horn, you lower your shoulder a few times, make some big hits. Now, offensive linemen like you, right? You can become a team leader that way. I love it, and it helps. But I come back to something that I'm going to keep coming back to. They're going to have to stop the pass, too. Same with Merrick, the safety that they signed from the Raiders, right? everybody loves him because he's so physical and he can come down and tackle and he can play in the box. And I'm going, yeah, but somebody's going to have to stop the pass too, or get their hands on the ball, or intercept passes and play the back half. And Jaycee Horn is obviously great in pass coverage, but you're going to have to get off the field too. It's almost it's I mean, they want dogs, right? That's Dan Morgan. They want physicality. They want guys that'll hit. You do also need guys that are like coverage guys and ball hawks and right. I was looking at the what was it? The NFL just had their top 75. Is that what it was? Or top 50? I forget. But they named this was a handful of years ago now. But they had like the best players at every position, and they were all on the field. And I thought, matter of fact, Dennis, you'll probably be frustrated by this.
Okay.
They had Ed Reed as one of the safeties, and they didn't have Polamalu. And I always think of those two as like, one was the best physical safety of an era, one was the best free kind of center field safety of an era.
There were safeties, they played it differently.
Yeah, but they were like, the
it's like 1A, 1B for a long time. Yeah.
The elite options, and they were all pros and all that kind of stuff. And the only thing I could think of for why Ed Reed would be picked over Polamalu is, well, he got his hands on the ball more, right?
Yeah,
he
more
had
interceptions.
More interceptions and the dynamic runbacks and everything else. And that's not to say Polamalu didn't, but it's just, that is something that is super valued in secondary players. So if Jaycee Horn is going to be one of the top 10 corners in the league, and the first thing every scout's going to say is he's great in run support, and you go get Trayvon Merrick, who's a really good safety and most believe a good value at $17 million per year, but the first thing everybody's going to say about him is he's great coming up into the box and he's great in run support. I'm going like, okay, I mean, that's the Dan Morgan dog image, right? You got guys that are not afraid to hit, not afraid to lower the boom. I have to admit, I am a little worried about covering pass offenses that are going to attack you through the air. And we still don't know who's going to be starting at free safety. And Mike Jackson is another physical corner on the other side, a bigger guy. Again, I think he's somebody that can help with the run. But at a certain point, teams are going to go, they're really good at stopping the run at every level. Maybe we should stop running it and sling it on them because they're not as talented there. It is also funny to just see a corner mentioned among literally the best corners in the league. And so many of the comments are like, he's a good tackler. It's like, well, okay. I mean, that's the huge compliment. And I like Jaycee Horn.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he needs to get his hands on the ball more.
You think that's a byproduct of the defense that is run, though? And with the Zero Evero system, he wasn't really allowed to travel with the opposing team's top wide receiver.
Yes, and I said this yesterday, a couple days ago. I also believe it's a product of who's been playing corner on the other side. Because why would you throw a Jaycee Horn when you can attack somebody that's much more vulnerable
Mm-hmm.
on the other side? But that changes with $25 million per year. It's like, oh, you're not going to have a lot of opportunities to get your hands on the ball. Well, if you only get a couple, you better get one of them because now you're getting paid like it, right? Up until now, rookie contract, highly drafted, like high expectations.
Yeah, 8th overall pick.
But and ahead of Pat Surtain, was number 1 on the list.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah. So like high expectations up till now, but that money adds a completely different level of you better get it done to Jaycee Horn. So there's a lot of reasons why he doesn't get his hands on the ball that are legit. It's just once you sign for $25 million a year, even legit reasons become like, yeah, I'm going to need you to overcome it anyway because $25 million a year says you better.
Well, I just think it's just, is his full potential being maximized? I think is the question that I'm asking, because if he's not allowed to go step for step with the other team's top wide receiver who is going to get targets no matter what, well, then how do I actually show what I fully can do? How am I actually able to reach my max as a player of what you paid me to do if you don't put me in the positions to do that?
I'm a big fan of letting your number 1 corner travel with the number 1 wide receiver all the time.
Yeah, me too.
The only issue would be, and this is something we'll never know, is if the other corner / whoever's coming in on nickel and dime situations, if they are not versatile enough to make it happen. Like if Mike Jackson is a field corner or a right corner or whatever, and he plays that significantly better than the opposite, then you're kind of hamstrung by that. But no, I'm always When cornerbacks, particularly the high-paid ones, particularly the good ones, complain about not being able to, travel with Justin Jefferson, I'm like, if he's psycho enough to want to guard Justin Jefferson every play, I want him on Justin Jefferson every play.
Absolutely.
Because that is a quick way to get beat and a quick way to give up touchdowns, and if they want that challenge, you give it to him every time. If Jaycee Horn wants to travel, I'm finding a way to make it happen. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks, Dennis Cox here from my good friends over at Loan Pronto. Folks, maybe you're maxed out on credit cards. Maybe you're struggling with some high-interest debt. You can pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. Get cash out now without touching your low-rate first mortgage. No appraisals, no waiting, no BS. The Rapid Equity Loan program at Loan Pronto is amazing. One Loan Pronto client just got $300,000 approved in under 24 hours. They paid off debt, renovated the kitchen, and they cut their monthly expenses by $1,800. It's a pretty massive turnaround. Imagine cutting your monthly expenses by $1,800. Loan Pronto, instant approvals, low rates, no hard credit pull up front. Here's the thing, folks. Your home equity, it's yours. Use it. Get cash to consolidate your debt down to one easy, low monthly payment. Give Loan Pronto a call now for a free instant appraisal for your home and see how much cash you can get today. Call now to get the conversation started. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760. Get that debt relief now. LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender. NMLS 1661781. On approved credit. NMLSConsumerAccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Coming up next, we have a ladder challenge. Dennis and I can finally jump into a month-long or half a month-long ladder challenge and Panthers cons and cons as we enter into training camp. What are you most confident and most concerned about for the Carolina Panthers? Stick around.
Golf's final major will be found on 99.9 The Fan. Listen all week long as we cover the British Open from Royal Portrush. Depend on us for leaderboard updates and every big moment through the presentation of the Claret Jug.
Xander Schauffele is the winner of the 152nd Open Championship.
Coverage of the British Open on 99.9 The Fan is teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with one membership.
Black isn't just a color. It's the presence of infinite possibilities. It's the moment before everything changes. An invitation to something unforgettable.
I won.
Win up to $4 million with Carolina Black Premier from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are still on Nic Scourton, second-round pick of the Carolina Panthers contract watch. The second-round picks, of which at this time yesterday, 30 of the 32 second-rounders had not been signed. They're streaming in now. Trey Harris of the Chargers, he signed. Trey Amos of Washington, he signed. There's 5 or 6 others that have already signed today. So
Mike Green in Baltimore.
RJ Harvey with Denver. The one that actually kind of broke the seal last night, Alfred Collins, second-rounder defensive tackle for the Niners. So and that's an incomplete list. There are more than that. It looks like there's a lot of momentum, a lot of reasons to be optimistic that Nic Scourton will not be unsigned for long, but we'll let you know when it officially happens. We'll let you know. And also, a lot of the contract details on these guys have, like, the only thing we know are the insiders, the Rappaports, the Schefters are saying they've signed or they've agreed to a deal. We don't know how much is guaranteed. We don't know kind of who's winning these holdouts, teams or players. So we'll see, because maybe players are softening their stance, and the ones that aren't softening their stance will remain unsigned longer. With that being said, we will let you know. And coming up right now, we have the ladder challenge between Dennis and myself. I've been staying warm in one-day ladder challenge competitions with Max and Graham and whoever's been filling in on the in the producer's chair. But the ladder challenge was always designed to be a month-long competition. I'm not sure where we left this off. Have we done anything in July?
We did a couple things. We had a one final bet to see who actually won June.
Oh, right.
Which I won.
I don't remember.
So you chose your Mets to win.
Do we remember what game it was?
So, yeah.
This was a long time. This was like two weeks ago?
It was. It was a couple weeks ago. Your Mets minus 1.5 to win.
Let me see.
I needed Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners to hit a home run, and he did against the New York Yankees in the 8th inning, which won me the month.
Okay, because you would have won with more anyway.
Yeah, I had a plus 175.
All right, so you win June.
That I do.
I have no idea where I'm at July as well.
We also did one more bet that same day. I also had.
I gotta find it. I
had one more bet that day of Aaron Judge to hit a home run.
And how'd that go for you?
It did. He hit a home run. Same game that Cal Raleigh hit a home run to win me June. So I'm up 6 months to 2, Tim, just so that FYI.
Okay, yes. All right, I got it. I also hit because I had Bronny James hitting 2 or more made threes in a summer league game. Oh, so this is for June.
Yeah, it's for June.
Do your thing. Do what you got to do.
Just kissing the trophy. Here once again. 6 months.
I tried to move the camera so people can.
2.
I tried to move the camera, but it's not going to you.
That's fine. That's totally okay, as long as the people know where the trophy is, which is right here with me. Once again.
There you go.
6 months to 2.
That's actually kind of perfect because when my microphone's on, the camera points to me on YouTube.
Yeah.
So in order for me to give you your due and show you with the trophy, I have to literally turn my microphone off. So I can't even be snarky and say things. I have to cut my mic.
Say? That you lost again?
Well, I could say that it's mighty convenient that you took off for 2 weeks.
I mean, that's for the month of July, but this is for June where I won again.
Yeah, but in month of June we were
and
barely together for that whole thing too.
We played by the same rules, and I still won.
No, I agree, but it's not the original rules of the ladder challenge.
That's okay. I still won.
I said
these
I gave you your due.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I have $25 to start July because I hit with Bronny 2 made threes.
I was actually up to $29.
There you go. So we're starting here July 17th. About 2 more weeks left in the month. And I will say this, we are starting at a time where there is not a ton of options for betting.
No.
So you with the lead, you get to go ahead and start it off.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty difficult one to do because, like you said, there's not a whole lot going on today. Let me just go ahead and go, because I have to, NBA Summer League.
Yep, I'm there also.
Give me the Spurs to beat the Hornets at plus 120, just straight money line. So my $29 will turn into $63.80.
That's hilarious because I am taking my $25 and I am putting it on the Hornets minus 2.5.
Okay.
Over the Spurs in NBA Summer League.
There you go.
Minus 110 will turn my 25 into 47.73 is what I'm looking at there.
We're degenerates. Good Lord.
There's really nothing else to bet on.
There's no baseball.
Yesterday we were doing the ladder challenge, Graham versus me. We do a different little side note kind of ladder challenge when Dennis isn't in town, and I don't even want to say I have. I looked to see if there were markets on ESPYs. I was like, can I bet on best championship performance? before I had to settle on like a WNBA and an NBA summer league and whatever else I could find. But there's really not much going on right now. But I will say, I did a half bit of research. The Hornets are 3-0 with an average margin of victory of 8.7 points in summer league.
They've been playing well.
So minus 2.5 against the Spurs, I'll take it.
The Charlotte Hornets.
Also, I don't know why I did this, but it must have been a copy and paste error, but it's kind of a fun fact. In my ladder challenge, I have an NHL scheduling note.
Okay.
The league is, just so you know, this is, again, stupid fun fact. I don't know why I thought to paste this in here. But the NHL is looking to move pretty aggressively to 7 p.m. local starts. This season, there will be 843 games starting at 7 p.m. locally and just 109 starting at 7:30.
Good.
So you can plan, like we are always talking about, puck drops and when Stormwatch and everything will be starting for the Canes here on 99.9 The Fan. You can bump it up a little bit, right? Because when they start moving it back, then we're always warning you. Like if you tune in at 6:30 and you don't hear Stormwatch, it's okay because the game was just moved back. Seems like they're kind of moving towards uniformly going at 7 p.m. And I had that for some reason in my explanation of why I'm taking the Hornets to beat the Spurs, which had to be a copy and paste error. So there you go. Wanted to pass that along because my subconscious mind wanted you to know. That's a ladder challenge. We'll keep you updated and do it again tomorrow. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Now we get to roll towards Cons and Cons.
But to play great defense, you need one thing above all else.
That starts with a W.
Confidence.
Confidence and concerns. That's what Cons and Cons stands for. What are you most confident in and what are you most concerned about? Now, throughout the summer, we've been mixing up the topic, right? Could be Panthers, could be Hurricanes, could be ACC football teams for Cons and Cons. But today is definitely a Panthers day because we do it every Thursday. We play Cons and Cons every Thursday. Next time we do Cons and Cons, Carolina Panthers is going to be in training camp. They start on Wednesday of next week. So this is, quite frankly, our last offseason Panthers Cons and Cons. Going into the year, going into practice, going into the season, what are you most confident in and what are you most concerned about for the Carolina Panthers? That is the question. We have our answers for you. As always, hey, I've got good news and bad news. Which do you want first? Give me the bad news. We start with concerns. Dennis, I almost said as the new guy, but as the newly returned guy.
Okay, it's the newly returned guy, yes.
Go ahead and lead off.
My concern is depth in the secondary because I really like Jaycee Horn, who we just talked about quite a bit just a little bit ago. I like the addition of Trayvon Merrick, especially what I saw from him at minicamp. I like what Shaw Smith-Wade has done in terms of early in his career and developing. I think Mike Jackson was a good, not great, but good.
Yes. They traded a 7th-round pick for him.
Yeah.
So, and that 7th-round pick ended up getting cut by the
Seahawks.
So that's turning nothing into a guy that played a ton of snaps. Like that's in a vacuum a good piece of business.
Exactly. And you end up signing an extension with him as well. Mm-hmm. I like that group. Once you get after that, it's nothing but question marks. Like Damani Richardson is a second-year player. A couple of flashes and moments last year as an undrafted free agent rookie out of Texas A&M. What does he become? Is he going to be a starter at free safety? Because that's where things kind of look during minicamp. Lathan Ransom, your rookie 4th-rounder out of Ohio State, what does he become? Like, who could play that deep safety spot? Once you get past your starting corners and Shaw Smith-Wade, it's nothing but question marks. So my concern is safety. I'm sorry, it's safety depth, but also just secondary depth as a whole right now. There's a lot of question marks there.
I don't think this is a surprise to anybody. Mine is pass defense. Oh, did you see T.J. Watt just became the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history?
Oh, look at that. Good. Wow, 3 years, $123 million.
108 fully guaranteed.
Good on him.
That's a lot of money for T.J. Watt. But that plays into what I'm saying here. It's not easy to go find an edge rusher. My concern for the Panthers is pass defense, which plays in everything you just said, right? The safety depth, the Mike Jackson, is he a good find for depth, or is he somebody you can play every snap at corner against some? I mean, if you look at the teams, even in the division, right? Second wide receiver or third wide receiver on a team like the Bucs is going to be pretty talented. The Falcons, obviously, with Drake London, especially if they're not moving Jaycee Horn. Like, can Mike Jackson match up against those guys every play? Who's going to be your free safety? And are those guys going to have to cover for like 5 seconds because the edge rushers aren't getting home fast enough? It doesn't appear you have like that dude, the TJ Watt, the Myles Garrett, the whoever, that is just going to consistently make quarterbacks accelerate their internal alarm clock. So without that, usually you need a great secondary. It doesn't appear as if you have a great secondary. I'm concerned about like what happens if teams just say, bleep it, we're passing every down. There was actually, I'll use a personal story here. Completely disrespectful to me. So this is kind of, kind of self-depreciating or self-deprecating, I should say. When I played at the University of Delaware, we had an All-American running back, and we had a couple All-American offensive linemen. There were teams that stacked the box against us and just said, like, you're absolutely not going to run the ball on us. And it would take till, like, halftime for the coaches to go, you know what, we're going to have to throw the ball. And I'm going like, come on, guys. You couldn't see that. They got 9 guys in the box. We're in 5 wide. Like, what are we doing here? But at a certain point, the coach would come to me and he'd go like, hey, we're going to throw it darn near every down until they, take the 9th guy out of the up front because they're so sold out on stopping our run game. And I'd go like, all right, fine, we got to do it. And it was a real bleep it moment for the coaches where they're like, we'll just throw it every down. I'm worried about what happens if teams do that against the Panthers. Because you look at Derek Brown, what is he unbelievable at?
Stopping the run.
What does he not do as well as some other great defensive linemen?
Get to the quarterback.
You look at the Trayvon Merrick, what is he great at?
Making plays in the boxes.
Coming up and tackling. What is he less known for? Covering deep.
Yep.
It seems like they've gotten the best run-stopping defense in the league, maybe. But what if nobody tries to run it against them because they don't have to, is my concern. All right, that's negative stuff. That's Debbie Downer stuff. Let's get to the fun. What are you most confident in for the Carolina Panthers?
I'd say the confidence is offensive continuity.
Mm-hmm.
From year 1 to year 2, I've got to go back to 2018 into 2019 where we get the same head coach and quarterback from one year to the next for the Panthers. That's literally how long. It was Cam Newton, Ron Rivera. That's how long you got to go back. So the fact that you have Dave Canales going into year 2 for himself as a head coach, year 3 as a play caller, Bryce Young getting the same coach and play caller again, all 5-year starting offensive linemen, plus all the depth guys that had to come in last year. You have 2 of your top tight ends from last year back. You have your top 4 wide receivers from last year back. You have your top running back from last year back. And then you add and supplemented that with the Tepper McMillan and, Mitchell Evans and so forth and Rico Dowdle. Like, you supplemented around your offense that we saw finish so strong last year. And I think going into year 2 for all these guys with the same offense, even Chuba Hubbard, all these guys, it's the same thing. Even Ike Ekwonu, this is the first time in his career where he's had the same head coach and offensive system. Chuba Hubbard, same thing. Tommy Tremble, same thing. Having that continuity is going to be such a massive thing, I think, for the entire offense as a whole. And hopefully, based off what I saw when I went to that minicamp, one day at minicamp, it looked like the offense was picking up where it left off last season, which ended strong.
Mine is more zeroed in than that. My confidence is the offensive line. Like, all of the movement, all of the additions, all of the free agency and the draft and all of the flashy stuff, like, it's always been the offensive line. There's a reason why Dan Morgan and Dave Canales' first offseason, the first thing they did was go break the bank for a couple of guards, was go, like, they have a priority. They have, everybody builds, something, right? Everybody has their theories on what to go get first. And it was obvious they wanted offensive line. And to bring everybody back, I love the chemistry. I love the knowledge that you have the same guy next to you that you had next to you last year, which goes into your stability conversation. But it's like, yeah, you had to improve the wide receiver, so you got Tepper McMillan. You had to improve the defense, so you went and got guys. You had to do this. You had to do that. Offensive line was the strength. It'll be the strength, and it's kind of perfectly offensive line that it's what I consider the strongest part of your team, and no one's talking about it. Like, that's That's what offensive linemen sign up for when they become offensive linemen. They're like, I'm going to have to eat a lot, lift a lot of weights, and nobody's going to talk about me. Like, that's the scout's honor oath of an offensive lineman.
And I think as well, we've talked about it before, just the more snaps you have together as an offensive unit, like as 5 guys, the better that offensive line becomes because you just have that trust and feel for where guys are going to be.
It's the NFL version of chicken or the egg.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the best performing offensive linemen, one of the best ways to predict the best offensive line units is to look at how many snaps the players have with each other. Now, the chicken or the egg is, do they have a billion snaps together because they're all good and they hold their job for a long time? Or are they good because they've had a lot of snaps together so they play well off each other and communicate well and do all of that? It's chicken or the egg. But either way, I like that you brought just about everybody back. The only position that was really even up for grabs at any point in time in the offseason was center. And then Corbett re-signed pretty darn quickly, and it was like, never mind, you're good. We got it.
And they brought back Cade Mays and
even the depth
Brady
pieces are the
Christensen.
same. Yeah. Ike Ekwonu, maybe, but not really because he's still on a rookie deal. Like, there really wasn't that much question.
No.
So I like the offensive line, especially as run blockers. Icky could get a little bit better as a pass blocker.
I think that's kind of ties into my thinking. Like the continuity, I think is going to help him a bunch.
And he's so good physically still.
Yeah, he's still young. He's going into year 4.
He's offensive line coaches have to just watch his film and go like, I can work with that. Yeah, I can work with that. So there you go. That's Panthers Cons and Cons here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Let's update you on the Open Championship. Matter of fact, you can listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. As we look at the very top, it is still, and now with most everybody, let me make sure everybody actually is. Nope, a few guys are still on the course wrapping it up. But with most of the top 40 all in the clubhouse, done with round 1, the top is still a 5-way tie for first. We have Jacob Skov Olesen. Some of these guys, hard to pronounce names. Hao Tong Lee, Matt Fitzpatrick, who is a major winner. He's probably the biggest name of the guys tied at the top. Christian Bezuidenhout. I pronounce that wrong every time, but I give it a good try. Harris English is the lone American in that 5-way tie for the lead at 4 under par out there at Royal Portrush across the pond. If you're looking for big names, 1 stroke off the lead and a tie for 6th is Scotty Scheffler. He's betting favorite coming in, and I would say 1 stroke off the lead. That's called lurking, and I would hear footsteps if I were one of those guys in the lead. Ricky Fowler, 2 under par and a tie for 10th. Not a lot of times you see him in the mix for a major. Phil Mickelson tied for 20th, 1 under par. John Rahm right there with him. Rory McIlroy right there with him in the clubhouse, 1 under par, tied for 20th. And as we look towards the local guys, Akshay Bhatia, who is a Wake Forest native here in the Triangle. That's where he lives. 2 over par, tied for 73. And where's the UNC guy, Ben Griffin? 3 over par, tied for 99th. Both of them have some work to do to make the cut and see the weekend. That's an Open Championship update on 99.9 The Fan, teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership. It's pretty darn sweet if you're somebody out there likes to tee it up. McConnell Golf, check it out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I do want to talk about a David Tepper comment, but we did breeze through it. You are a Steelers fan. How do we feel about T.J. Watt becoming literally the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history?
Yeah, for those who may have just heard or missed it, T.J. Watt signing a 3-year, $123 million extension with the Pittsburgh Steelers, a whopping $108 million guaranteed on that. So on a per-year basis, highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history. I think this is, in my eyes, he's still a very productive player. He is the face of your franchise. Like, T.J. Watt is the face of their franchise right now. For so long, it was obviously Ben Roethlisberger.
You mean it's Aaron Rodgers?
No, it's not. But no, no, it's definitely not. No, but he's the face of your franchise, and you have to make sure that you take care of yours. I think that's a vital thing. It's like the production is still there. I think it's something that was important that you keep and continue to. You're in win now mode. Take care of these guys while this window's still open. I think it's okay. And guess what? When the salary cap continues to jump over the next few years, it's not going to look as bad as you might look initially right now. I'm 100% okay with it because, again, he's the face of your franchise. Take care of those guys.
Do you know what is absolutely insane about TJ Watt, the contract he just signed? What is it, 3 years, 123?
Yeah.
JJ Watt, his older brother, has multiple Defensive Players of the Year, led the league in sacks, was almost an MVP one year because he was catching touchdowns on offense as well.
Yeah.
Like he's one of, I would say, outside of Aaron Donald, that generation's second best defender is JJ Watt. In his career, he played 12 seasons in the NFL. He made $129.7 million. His brother's going to make $123 in 3 years. Guess who's picking up Thanksgiving dinner this year, TJ? That's absurd. How much younger? Let's see. JJ Watt is 36. TJ Watt is almost 31. So he's 5 years younger, and he's going to make literal $150 million more, at least, than JJ Watt. And I mean, I'm sure a Pittsburgh fan, you might be leaning the other way. I believe J.J. Watt's the better player if you look at their career. TJ, a little bit more longevity, doesn't have the injuries.
Yeah.
But goodness gracious. Can you imagine being like in a sibling rivalry? Granted, they're both playing with funny money, right? It's monopoly money to them, right? If 100 and something million, 200 and something million, 300 and something million, I don't know if there's many stakes any of them can't.
Who's counting at that point?
Yeah, there's nothing on the menu you can't buy with 150 when you go out to dinner. But J.J. Watt probably thought, I'm going to sign this deal. It's going to put me over $120 million in career earnings. I'm going to win this sibling rivalry. A couple years later, his brother signs a 3-year, 123 extension. Whew. That's. You know who's a real bummed out about that?
Who's that?
Derek Watt.
Derek, the other brother.
There's the Cooper Manning of the Watts. Although Derek did play in the NFL for a while, so maybe not.
He actually played with the Steelers for a hot second.
There you go. That's a lot of money, man. That is a lot of money. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You know what? I wanted to talk about David Tepper, but I talked too much about the Watts. I'm fascinated by that kind of cash. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We may work some David Tepper talk in later. In the meantime, Tim Donnelly here for Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric. It is also, and I've said this a few times, but I'm going to keep reminding you, when is the best time to think about cooling maintenance? Talking air conditioner, HVAC maintenance. Probably about 3 months ago, before it started getting super hot and you started overworking your AC. When's the second best time to call Maynard Service Company about cooling maintenance? Right now, right? Do it. It's not too late. If you're working it a ton and it's about to be super hot, if you listen to the meteorologists all across the state for at least a couple of days. If you're going to be overworking your AC, Maynard Service Company can come out. They can run the checks. They can do the evaluations they need and make maybe a small repair or two, or clean it out, or whatever they need to do. That's what maintenance is, to make sure it's operating as efficiently as it possibly can, and that you don't have any glaring issues popping up that are lurking and are going to really annoy you when they cause a bigger problem later on. So Maynard Service Company, they're the number you call when your heating, cooling, plumbing, or electric need to be fixed. But they're also the number you want to call to set up a maintenance appointment to try to push off those breaks and those problems that could be coming in the near future. Maynard Service Company, the number 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993. Or visit them online at MaynardServices.com. That's MAYNOR Services.com. We have a feedback frenzy. We hear some of your feedback from all across the internet. Coming up next.
Gift yourself an icon, the Omega Speedmaster, known as the Moonwatch. This legendary timepiece made history as the only watch selected by NASA to withstand the extreme environment of space, and was worn by astronauts on the first journey to the moon. With its timeless design and unmatched durability, the Omega Speedmaster continues to inspire adventure seekers worldwide. Find your perfect Speedmaster at Bailey's Fine Jewelry, voted best place to buy a watch. Learn more at baileybox.com.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jalen Hurts may be the most disrespected quarterback we have ever seen. He has championed the most unstoppable play in the history of the sport in the tush push. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, and he beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you're going to tell me that this guy is the 9th ranked quarterback in the NFL? Are you out of your mind?
unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Joining us on this episode are real Spectrum customers, Monique and Greg. We hear your family is a big fan of Spectrum.
Family of 4, we have about 18 devices last time I counted.
2 teams require a lot of speed. Everything they do is online.
There's gaming, there's streaming. Spectrum is perfect for us. I mean, it just seamlessly connects all our devices with lightning speed.
Sounds like Spectrum is really committed to keeping you connected.
It's amazing.
Sports can be unpredictable. Your elevator shouldn't be. That's why you need Metro Elevator, Raleigh's hometown team for expert commercial elevator service. Locally owned and operated, we specialize in keeping your building moving with top-tier repair, maintenance, modernization, and installation. Our highly trained technicians deliver fast, responsive service to ensure your elevators run smoothly. No surprises, just results. Trust Raleigh's own Metro Elevator to keep you moving. Learn more at metro-elevator.com/Raleigh.
Bank of America is the nation's leading business lender, and we're ready to help with your next goal here in the Triangle. That's why we have over 3,700 local business specialists across the country. Because with the right team, your business and community prosper. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You all have, I'm not going to do the on-air math. You have until 4 o'clock tomorrow to text in beef to make sure you have the maximum amount of opportunities to win your weight in meat. Text beef to 919-860-5326. And tomorrow at 4 o'clock will be the final time we qualify a finalist for the competition. Our 10th and final finalist. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock will be randomly selected out of all of you that text in beef to 919-860-5326. We'll call you at 4. You answer, jump on the show, tell us how much you weigh, part of the game, and then you'll be one of the 10 finalists. We'll randomly select one finalist Monday, this upcoming Monday at 4. Give them a call, and they will win their weight in meat. You can also start planning maybe what you want to cook, maybe what you want to grill, maybe this what you're going to smoke, maybe what you're going to bring inside and do on the oven, and you could start planning the whole deal. It's like when you buy a lottery ticket and you spend it all, and then you find out if you win, right? It's part of the fun. So text in beef to 919-860-5326. Brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from North Carolina farmers. Now it is time for a feedback frenzy. This is where Dennis goes across the interwebs, YouTube comments, social media, all over the place for conversations we've had, and the feedback from all of you brings the best comments, responses, debates onto the air, and we respond. What do you have, Dennis?
So I threw a poll out there on our YouTube lives, by the way. So for folks who may not be able to listen to us, you can always catch us on YouTube in the comment section.
Subscribe while you're there.
Please do. I threw a poll up there in the comment section. Which football team will win the most games this season? NC State, Duke, or Carolina? 40% say NC State. 35% say Carolina. Only 25% say Duke.
I do know as of last week, the sports books had UNC over under 7.5, both NC State and Duke 6.5. So that probably has something to do with they know that the Belichick vibes will have people betting the over on UNC. I mean, it's kind of crazy for Duke to be down there at 6.5 as far as an over-under, simply because the last 3 years have been, 9 wins, 8 wins, 9 wins. And then they spent, reportedly between $3 and $4 million a year on their quarterback. And they have Chandler Rivers, who's the 14th highest ranked player in college football, 26. He's one of the best players in the country. Brian Parker, one of the best offensive tackles in the country. So they've got some dudes there. So am I responding, or are you asking me to make a pick? Like, is that enough response, or do I have to plant my flag?
I mean, if you want to make a pick, go for it.
I'd lean towards Duke.
Likewise.
Which is...
Defense is good.
Defense is good, and you know, I assume, without knowing too much about Mensah, I've watched a little bit of him at Tulane. He seems at least efficient, right? He seems like he's a pretty solid decision maker. So the offense, you know, doesn't have to be unreal. You don't got to score 40 if your defense is only giving up 14, that kind of deal. And Brian Parker is a really good tackle. So I like him. I think Manny Diaz got something going there. That's not to say I think either team, any of those three, are going to stink, but I lean Duke.
All right, this one comes from Steven. We had a conversation, you guys had a conversation yesterday about, will the Carolina Hurricanes let Nikolai Ehlers cook? Steven says Kane should still add more weapons with $10 million in cap. But there's a follow-up from another commenter, Jesse. Jesse saying, well, one, Alexander Akishin will still need an extension, which he can actually sign right now potentially. But Jesse also asked, two, does Marco Rossi excite you? Does Mason McTavish, Ryan O'Reilly, Elias Pettersson? Mason McTavish, who plays for the Anaheim Ducks, is the best fit from a knee perspective, but I would be surprised if Anaheim lets him go. Marco Rossi could be an excellent 2C from a scoring perspective, but the Hurricanes already have small forwards.
Yes, I agree with everything you just said there. I do agree that Mason McTavish would be the one that piques my fancy the most, but here's the deal. We'll use Bouchard as the example. Right? Defenseman Bouchard was eligible for a offer sheet.
Evan Bouchard with the Edmonton Oilers, yes.
And the rumor is that they got that deal done expeditiously, quickly, because they were concerned that Carolina might come out of the clouds with an offer sheet. Anaheim has to be aware that you can also sign an offer sheet for McTavish, but here's the deal. They're not worried about it. Do you know why? They got all the money in the world to spend. They're like, we'd love for you to do the negotiation, and then we'll just match and keep.
Sure.
So they're not rushing to get that deal done because they know they aren't letting him leave. That's at least the way I believe. So that's one where it's like you could try to create some kind of real fancy contract that they can't match, but it's I just don't see it happening there. I'm sticking to the plan that I've been most invested in, which is you keep a decent amount of salary cap space into the season, and you wait to see which team thinks they're going to contend, and a couple months into the season obviously are not going to contend. And then you have the cap space to potentially make a move for somebody that can fill that second center role. I think the Canes' floor is high enough that you need the second center by playoff time. Okay, that's where I think it becomes super obvious. But you can win enough, you can punch your playoff ticket. You won't play yourself out of it if you don't have your 2C immediately. So I don't know who's going to be available there, right? There might be a team that you think is going to be a seller, but they start it with a hot month and a half, and now all of a sudden they're buyers at the deadline. You got to kind of play the field a little bit, but I like to have cap space at the deadline, or within 2 months of the deadline, so you can bring on a super big name if you need to.
Yeah, because the market's going to change quite a bit.
Yes,
in terms of who is going to be available.
I might want to see if Buffalo maybe stinks a little bit more than they think they are and becomes seller at the deadline.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. I just want to see. I just want to hear. I just want to be eyes open.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Just curious to see things happen. You guys yesterday talked about the let's actually switch things over to the Carolina Panthers.
Okay.
So you guys had the conversation yesterday about the Carolina Panthers and their quarterbacks and wide receivers, or most of them getting together, doing a little trip up to Minnesota.
Minnesotan retreat.
There's actually one commenter, Levi. Actually, there's two comments here from Levi I want to read. First one said, I'm tired of hearing we're Cali kids line. Not going to lie. I guess because, talking about Bryce Young and Tedero McMillan.
If you're tired of that already, they haven't even played or really had any media availabilities yet.
The Cali kids. All right, but Levi also did say, sounded like a good bonding experience until they said they went to a WNBA game, which doesn't sound like a lot of fun.
What?
I don't know. WNBA game probably would be a lot of fun.
Listen, any excursion, we'll call it, is only as good as the people you go with, right? You could go. If you're by yourself or with somebody you don't enjoy, and you're at the most exciting concert of your life, you're gonna not enjoy it as much. If they've got a good crew and they're at a WNBA game or they're at any other event, the crew is what makes it. So you're just hoping that you and your boys have a good time.
You make the experience fun. This one actually comes from Camera Ray. Cameron Ray says, if they keep David Moore over Hunter Renfrow, talking about the Carolina Panthers, I'm going back to Washington as my number one team. Panthers would get demoted.
All right. First of all, you can't transfer to Washington right now. That's against fan rules.
No.
They were in the conference championship game for the first time in a billion years last year. You had decades where you could join the Washington fandom and you wouldn't be front running. Now, they got their quarterback. Jaden Daniels is a monster. How convenient. Now I'm putting my foot down and I'm leaving the Panthers. Nope, can't do it. If you want to go to another team, I'll give you a list of acceptable squads. They all stink. I'm kidding, by the way. You can do whatever you want in your fandom. There were some notable absences from the Minnesotan retreat. Coker, Hunter Renfrow, Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton was kind of like, I want Bryce to lead this. Like, if I'm there, people are going to look to me, so I'm out. At least that's kind of a guess that I have. And I just hope Renfrow and Coker had somewhere important that they couldn't reschedule, right? They had like a cousin's wedding or something. Because I think it's important to get to know everybody and to hang out in that way. David Moore, whether you like him or not, I do think he has the trust of Dave Canales, and I think he brings some special teams work. So, that last wide receiver on the roster probably has to earn a lot of their keep on special teams. Mm-hmm. And Renfrow can be a solid, safe punt returner, but I don't think he's running down on punt much and making tackles.
No.
So,
and David Moore can do that.
Yeah. So there's other things that go into it.
All right, let's go a final one here. Let's actually go back to the conversation you guys had regarding the Carolina Hurricanes and the acquisition of Keandre Miller and how Scott Morrow factored into that for the Carolina Hurricanes in the trade with the New York Rangers. 512 Metro says this on YouTube. Moving Scott Morrow made a lot of sense, but I still thought the trade was expensive. Basically giving full offer sheet value for him was a bit rich. I felt that including a prospect like Morrow should have saved us either the first or the second, not all three, especially when we're almost certainly trying to keep ammunition for another big swing down the middle sometime this season, referring to a center.
I still think they have plenty of ammunition.
They have a ton.
I think it's this offseason, this was what the Canes had, right? What they had was the ability to overpay. They had picks, they had cap space, they had prospects. They didn't really have too many needs on their roster. Most of their guys are locked up for the foreseeable future. They took care of Logan Stankoven early. So it's a luxury, right? To Godfather offer for a guy you want, right? They were able to look at the Rangers and go, boom, right? Send us Miller. Here's when we want him here. Bada boom. That's the luxury. And I'm not saying they overpaid a ton, but it is nice to not have to this is our final offer. I'm walking away from the table. You don't got to play all that if you have the, it ain't tricking if you got it.
You don't have to pinch pennies.
Yeah. And you still, everything that, the wildest dreams I have are still available, right? You can still give multiple firsts and multiple prospects. And I don't think that would even, make your cupboard bare if you want to go get, a true 2C star. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes from here. But I don't think what they gave up for Keandre Miller has handcuffed them at all for bigger future moves. Aside from, you only have $10 million in cap space.
Which is going to jump up next season.
It's going to jump up, and, in a deal, you can always find another couple million in cap space if you need to. Send a guy away with a pick or something. There's a couple million out there if you need it. But that's only if you're bringing in somebody that's going to make $12 million, in which case you're probably giving up players' contracts in that deal to bring them back.
Something to keep in mind if you're Tulsky in that front office as well is that, you have $10 million or roughly, actually more like 11 in cap space right now. But you still have to keep in mind that next year you got a Alexander Nikishin extension. You're going to need to get another goaltender because Freddie's only on a 1-year deal. So those are all things you have to keep in mind as well with all these extensions and everything.
If you don't spend any,
and Jackson Blake's eligible for an extension too.
If you don't spend any of the $10 million, or you spend it all on players whose contract is up at the end of this year, right? If you spend it on a rental or you sign somebody to a 1-year contract, you'll have roughly $19 million going into next year because they're expecting the cap to go up by about $9 million each of the next 2 years. That 19 would then have to absorb goalie, however much you want to spend there.
Yep.
Likely a Jackson Blake extension, and then whatever other
Nikishin.
Should have said that probably first.
Yeah.
And then mix around whatever else you feel you need to do on the edges of your roster. Doable for sure. But also, if you do go get a 2C of worth, if you get a second center, like a legit second center, you're likely sending away NHL players, at least one or two. So then the cap situation becomes very different. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Do you know how nice it would be if mortgage rates were like salary cap predictions and they'd say, like, next year we're expecting it to be this, 2 years from now we're expecting it to be this, 3 years from now this is what likely will happen due to the media rights? Because then we could all sit around and go, I know exactly when I'm going to get my mortgage, I know exactly when I'm going to lock it in, and I'm not going to regret it at all. But because we don't have those predictions, we don't have a knowledge of what the markets are going to do, we need to have Miller Lending. Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending, Gordon Miller and Miller Lending. They have something called a no closing cost loan. That means no cost, no fees, no third-party surcharges, no anything along those lines, which means you can refinance as many times as you need to, which takes the fear out of not knowing the future of mortgage rates. Right? You call up Miller Lending, you lock in a no closing cost loan now, they give you your monthly payment. Now, for most times when you get a mortgage, you think that's how much I'm going to pay every month for the next 30 years if it's a 30-year mortgage. But that's not really the best way to think about it. Really, that's your monthly payment just this month. Because next month, if the rates drop, refinance, no cost, no fees, no money out of your pocket. Now you have a lower monthly payment. 6 months from now, they drop again, do it again. A year from now, they drop again, do it again. Now, obviously, you didn't make that one same monthly payment for 30 straight years. Matter of fact, on average, a mortgage in this country, it's only held for 4 years before you refinance, move, pay it off, some kind of ending of that mortgage. The average is just 4 years. So a no closing cost loan allows you to take advantage in all of that volatility. Give them a call and they'll explain more. Locally owned, by the way, in Cary. So when you call, you're talking to someone locally. The number for Miller Lending is 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We have the starting five coming up next. Which Triangle team is starting to catch fire in the recruiting world? Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
Baseball showed it can be fun. A throwback to being a kid with a backyard sudden death home run competition, breaking the tie and ending the All-Star game. No pitch clocks, no bigger bases, just dudes swinging hard for the fences. All it needed was my mom to yell out, "Hey, you got school in the morning. Get home now."
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Is your whole home operating at peak performance? With Newcomb & Company, your independent Trane dealer, proudly serving our community for over 70 years. As a Comfort Contract customer, you'll get priority service and a 15% discount on all HVAC and plumbing service calls and repairs, including repairs and replacements for faucets, toilets, piping, garbage disposals, water heaters, drain cleaning, and more. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800. With
24 monthly bill credits. New line $100 plus a month on experience beyond. Finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying forwarded. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Richie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Richie Law is on top of it.
That one back. That one going. Gone!
Go to RichieLaw.com.
That's RichieLaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. The showers and storms out there will linger into the early evening hours. Then a slight chance for a shower overnight, 79 the low. Hotter tomorrow. We have a heat advisory in effect, the high 98. We also have a chance for thunderstorms that could get severe.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones at the closing bell up 229 points today to 44,485. Market update brought to you by Bolton Construction Services. Bolton is actively hiring experienced, easy for me to say. Bolton is actively hiring experienced HVAC techs with a $2,500 sign-on bonus. As a family-owned leader in HVAC, Bolton puts people first. Don't miss out. Apply now at boltonservice.com. Again, boltonservice.com.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan on a Thursday, and it is time for the starting five at 5. And as always, the starting five at 5 starts with number 5.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Shohei is a once-in-a-generation talent. No one's been able to do what he does at so many positions, pitcher, hitter, and bookie. A bookie is what Bill Belichick reads to his girlfriend before bedtime.
That's the one of the shots taken by the host of the ESPYs last night, Shane Gillis, at UNC's head football coach, Bill Belichick. You know, there is a saying, no publicity is bad publicity. There were no NFL games, no NBA games, no NHL games, no MLB games. There were very little distractions in the sports world away from the ESPYs last night, and Bill Belichick was the center of like a 2-minute breakdown of the monologue by Shane Gillis. I won't say it was complimentary. I would actually assume it was probably pretty bitter for Bill Belichick and his inner circle to watch. But hey, no other college football coaches were being talked about. Maybe that's why UNC's starting to catch fire in the recruiting world. Because earlier that day, UNC flipped an Ohio State commitment from Ohio. 4-star safety Jacob Weatherspoon, 6 foot, 180-pound safety from Avon, Ohio, had been committed to Ohio State for 6 months. Yesterday, he said thanks, but no thanks, Ryan Day and national championship defending Ohio State. I'm taking my talents to Chapel Hill. That's impressive by Belichick and his crew. It's even more impressive when you pair that with what happened less than a week ago, which is 4-star linebacker Calvin Thomas, 6 foot 3 inch, 220-pound linebacker from Houston, Texas, made his commitment. He said, my final 5 as a player from Texas, SMU, Michigan, Nebraska, and the Tar Heels. Smart money's probably on the guy from Texas going to Texas.
You would think. I don't know.
The biggest money might be coming from Michigan, which is reportedly backed by like Larry Ellison, or Nebraska, which Matt Rule. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. SMU's got money. There you go. SMU has money. He said, no. I'm going to the Tar Heels. And then on top of that, Travis Burgess, a quarterback who's already been committed to UNC, was the biggest riser in the updated top 300 of the 247 rankings. Is Bill Belichick catching fire in the recruiting world?
Might be.
Is this like I used Steph Curry as the example earlier. I'll use like Scotty Scheffler this time since the Open Championship's going on. Is this where Scotty Scheffler just went like birdie, eagle, birdie, and everyone's like, uh-oh, is he going to win it on this 9? Belichick just went Ohio player committed to Ohio State, flipped him to North Carolina. Texas player with Texas in the Final 5 got him to Carolina. Quarterback rose from 27th best quarterback in the rankings to 7th best quarterback in the rankings. Is he about to go 8 under on the back 9? Everybody tune in. Let's see if he's on fire and I need a heat check. You know what he should do? He's got to go try to flip like a Birmingham prospect committed to Alabama or something. Like he's just got to go see how on fire am I? Can I go take a Malibu prospect from USC? How on fire am I? It's pretty cool. Pretty fun to watch if he does actually get it going like a lot of us thought he would when he took over UNC. That is in our starting 5, number 5. Let's hit number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4 all together.
McDavid, it's gone! Scores! Leon Draisaitl, Game 1 hero!
There is a very specific subset of athlete viral videos that I can't get enough of. It is the genre of viral video, which is professional superstars playing against weekend warriors. I love it. Every single time it pops up.
The old pros versus Joes, right?
I love it. When Scalabrini used to do the Scallenge, Scalabrini once said, meaning Brian Scalabrini, the Red Mamba, the guy who used to play on the Celtics and Bulls and stuff, edge of the bench guy in the NBA. He once said, I am closer to LeBron than any of you are to me, because he was like 12th guy on the bench, and a bunch of people called him out on it. So he said, Lifetime Fitness. This time, anybody that wants to play one-on-one, I'm there. And then he just smoked him. 11-0, 11-0, 11-0, 11-0. And I watched them all. I was on a YouTube 2-hour highlight video of Scalabrini against Joe from accounting. It happened a bunch when the NBA went to a lockout. Remember? Because then players were playing in pickup gyms and stuff. Well, we got a hockey version of it that went the other way. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. I mean, that's as big of a superstar group as you can get in the NHL. Lost a beer league game in Newmarket, which I believe is in Ontario up there in Canada. They lost a beer league game. They lost. Now, yeah, I know what Dennis is going to say here. They weren't trying. They were taking it easy.
Because they weren't.
But who cares?
That's true.
I don't... If I'm in that beer league, if I'm the goalie, by the way, there's highlights, you can go find it. The goalie that robbed Connor McDavid of a scoring opportunity, I don't care if he's going 15%, let alone 80%. I don't care if he's got 2 left skates on and he's playing with a youth stick. I don't care at all. I stopped Connor McDavid. Facts.
Yeah, I'm retiring.
Facts.
I'm retiring.
It's on film. Also, it's surprising because a lot of times I think that happens where they're going through the motions and then they get down 3-0 at the end of the first period and they're like, all right, I'm not going to lose. And they turn it on. It's good restraint from McDavid and Draisaitl. But also, if you're going to do it. Either way, if you ever see a 2-time Pro Bowler playing flag football, send me the video. I want to watch. It is never anything but entertaining to me.
By the way, if any Canes players are listening right now, if you want to get some run, hit me up. I got a beer league team that, you know what, you can play anywhere you want.
Let me ask you
this. As long as you're okay playing on Olympic ice.
Let me ask you this. Would you rather have them on your team or play against them?
That's a good question.
I think I would rather play against them.
I think I would rather play against them. But part of me is also
But also...
Hey, let me just feed pucks to the point at Jalen Chatfield.
I was just going to say, what's the better story? Like I luckily poke checked Jalen Chatfield and got the takeaway, or I fed Jalen Chatfield for a goal. Which one's the better story there?
I fed Jalen Chatfield for a goal.
I think that is
yeah.
But I don't know. I think it's the competitor. I think I want to play against you. But I would be more timid than he would. Because all I could think of is I'm not going to be the guy that gets tangled up with Jalen Chatfield and now he's on the IR. Like I'm not.
Yeah,
I would be
that
so
guy.
worried about it. So I guess put him on my team. That way I can stay kind of away from him, but still get a cool story. Either way, heck, I will buy equipment to play with.
Just
a
get
can.
dusted by one of those guys.
That's the other thing.
That's the other one. Yeah.
If you're playing against them, you might end up viral the other way. Like everybody
exactly.
going up against Scalabrini. 11-0 doesn't sound like fun. That's number 4. Let's hit number 3. We talk about checkpoints in like roster development and team building. The Carolina Panthers, I think I know what their next checkpoint is. Aside from like the hard win totals, like you want to get to 7, then you want to get to above 500, then you want to get to winning the division. Like aside from those obvious checkpoints, I think there's one that Washington is at right now. And that's when veterans that are free agents choose you to ring chase. Von Miller signed with Washington today. Actually, he didn't sign. Let me be clear. He agreed to join Washington. Apparently, there are still some details they want to work out in the language of the contract. But the insiders have confirmed he's joining the Washington Commanders. Von Miller, for lack of a better term, he's kind of like the mercenary going around trying to be the final piece on a championship team, right? He was added to the Rams mid-season when they won their championship. Then he goes to the Bills, a team that felt like they had a lot of pieces in place to win, and he was trying to be the final piece there. Now he goes and joins a team that was in the NFC Championship game last year. Like he's trying to grab a couple rings on the way out. When those players join Carolina, I think that's a sign that agents and players and those that are around the league believe they might be 1 or 2 players away. Right now, it is still, I think, fairly obvious that you might not have to pay the old Panther tax. Like, when you're a really bad team, I think you got to pay like 110% of value to a free agent to get him to go there. Washington for years had to probably pay 125% of value to get somebody to go to Washington because they were seen as so dysfunctional. I think the Panthers might be at even, right? They just have to pay market value now. They don't have to overpay to get somebody to come to Carolina. But the next step is you get guys with options saying, I want to go there. Or similarly, earlier this offseason, Jair Alexander signed with the Baltimore Ravens, right? He might not be ring chasing, but he's signing a 1-year deal to try to build up his value so he can then go hit the free agency again and get paid big money. He chose Baltimore because he knows you're more valuable coming off a successful season where you contribute to a winner and you make big plays in big games. When those two kind of archetypes of players, the older established ring chasers and the talented 1-year prove it before I go hit the open market deal players, when those players start choosing Carolina, their reputation has completely changed. They are up and coming, exciting. People believe wholeheartedly in guys like Bryce Young and the core. They're not there yet. Washington got there quickly, though, right? Washington got there, kind of turned it around in like 18 months. Right? Got the coach, got the quarterback. Now they're messing around with Terry McLaurin. I don't know what's going on there. Terry McLaurin is like the most beloved guy in Washington, maybe outside of Jaden Daniels. And he's flapping in the breeze for a deal. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the two of us.
All right, the first round is in the books at the Open Championship. Course looks awesome. You had to be up early to watch the first guys tee off because it is over there at Royal Portrush. I'll listen to 99.9 The Fan all weekend long for coverage of the Open Championship. Here's the current leaderboard presented by McConnell Golf. We still have that 5-way tie for first. They are 4 under par. Jacob Skov Olesen, Haotong Lee, Christian Bazodenheit. I pronounce it differently every time. I do my best. South African golfer, very good golfer, grinder on the PGA Tour. Matt Fitzpatrick, major winner, is in that tie for first, and Harris English, the American, all at 4 under par. There are a lot of guys still in the mix here. So there's the 5 tied for first. There's 4 tied for 6th, 1 stroke off, including Scotty Scheffler. There's a whole bunch tied for 10th, just 2 strokes off the lead. Then you get to some more big names. Phil Mickelson, Sam Burns, John Rahm, Shane Lowry, Sergio Garcia, Rory McIlroy, Tony Finau. They're all tied just 3 strokes off the lead in 20th. So there's, I know it's a cliche. There's a lot of golf to be played. Another way to say it is this, and this is the way a lot of really the top guys think about Thursday rounds in majors. You can't win it on Thursday. You can lose it on Thursday, right? If you put up a 78, if you put up an 80, like you can legitimately lose it on Thursday. Most of the big names, even guys like Xander Schauffele, who are sitting there at even, and if you really get going, even if you're +1, Justin Thomas in that group, you can make a run, right? They haven't lost it in the first round, even if there's a little bit of ground to make up. There are a few guys that probably have taken themselves out of the contention to win. Jordan Spieth, Victor Hovland, 2 over par. Brooks Koepka, 4 over par. Colin Morikawa, 4 over par. But there's a lot of big names that are still in the mix. And Scotty Scheffler sitting there 1 off the lead. Yeah, he's in a good spot. He's in a good spot. Open Championship updates on 99.9 The Fan are teed up by McConnell Golf, where members experience 17 club properties across 4 states with 1 membership. That's a Open Championship update for you. That's number 2. Let's hit number 1. So here's a question for you, Dennis. I haven't been able to update as much. We've been on air quite a bit.
Okay.
As Nic Scourton, the second-round pick of the Carolina Panthers, signed or agreed to his contract as of yet?
He has not.
Okay, so we're still waiting. It's like watch. That's where we're at. It's Nic Scourton watch, not worry, not panic, no alarms. But there is like a strange phenomena in the NFL happened. There's probably going to be, if we're being real, like economics teachers in business schools could like study what the happened with the second-round picks this offseason in the NFL draft, in that there was a implied or a accepted norm for second-round picks, in that their contracts were not fully guaranteed. First-round picks, fully guaranteed. Second-round picks, not fully guaranteed. And then Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, what was he, 34th pick, I think? So one of the very top picks.
Second pick in the second round.
There you go. Iowa State wide receiver, drafted by the Texans. They did give him a fully guaranteed contract. And as soon as that happened, every other second-round pick was like, well, hold the phone. And basically every rookie from the 6 other rounds all signed their rookie contracts, and none of the second-rounders did. 30 of the 32 remained unsigned at this time yesterday. That's, I know, like the market, right? You need to talk to, an economics teacher, somebody that studies that sort of thing to get it all. But then late last night, the Niners second-rounder, defensive tackle by the name Alfred Collins, signed his contract, and it was not fully guaranteed. Matter of fact, it was 88% guaranteed, and that somehow broke the seal. And since then, every probably half hour or so, we've seen a second-rounder announced as signed. Washington signed Trey Amos, or at least agreed to a deal. I don't know if they're actual pen to paper, but for all intents and purposes, they're ready to roll. R.J. Harvey with Denver, Mike Green with the Ravens, and on and on and on. More and more and more. Keep figuring it out. The Panthers' Nic Scourton, second-round pick, has not signed yet. Now, the rookies don't report until next week for the Carolina Panthers.
Monday.
So that becomes the deadline, right? Because up until now, up until training camp, rookies can participate in all the mini camps, the OTAs. They're allowed to be on the field, wearing the gear, hanging out, getting the work in, even if they had not agreed to a deal. Training camp, Nope, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to participate. Not allowed to be on the field. Not allowed to be getting better unless you have a signed contract. So that's the deadline. Is it the absolute end of the world if it drags on a couple days past Monday? No, but I do believe your back will start tightening a bit. You'll start getting a little bit more tense, simply because Nic Scourton means a lot to the Carolina Panthers. Right? They need desperately to have a better pass rush this year than they did last year. They need desperately to have a bit more pop, bit more playmaking on their defense, and I believe Nic Scourton and their third-round pick, Princely Umanmielen, are both going to be depended upon in a big way as part of that rotation, rushing the passer and playing off the edge. Now, need plus deadline, that's usually when deals get done. We saw it with the Chargers. Okay, so I'll let me break it down how it went with the Chargers with their second-round pick. Trey Harris, second-round pick, wide receiver. I think it was the 23rd pick of the second round. He was unsigned along with so many of the other second-round picks. The Chargers had their rookies report. He was still unsigned, wasn't there. They start earlier because they're in the Hall of Fame game. So their veterans reported today. They're fully in training. Actually, yesterday. Their veterans they're fully in training camp now. He still was unsigned. And then guess what happened? Mike Williams, who is one of their veteran receivers, notified the club that he's retiring. Took about a couple hours after that news broke for Trey Harris to be signed, and he'll be at practice tomorrow, right? All of a sudden, he's much more needed. All of a sudden, the deadline is passed, and it's getting serious. Deadline gets deals done. I'm not worried about Nic Scourton. I would still feel better if we heard news soon that the deal is agreed upon.
For sure. Like you said, Monday is when the rookies report. Wednesday is when they actually practice.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost look at it as like two deadlines, for lack of a better term. All right, is he signed by Monday when all the other rookies report? If that's the case, then sure, okay, they can keep things moving. But even if that's not the case, then okay, what about Wednesday? That's the thing. Like, if you're on the field for practice Wednesday, that's fine. He participated in everything this offseason, from the rookie minicamp to all the OTAs to the mandatory minicamp. He was involved in all of it. So if he's there for the first day of practice, guess what? You don't miss a beat.
Exactly. And the one thing I will say, and this, I bring up the 2025 rookie scale. We go down. He's the 51st pick, correct? I believe.
Yes, he was 51st.
The slot value is $8.6 million for the 51st pick, according to Spotrac. I know you don't want to set precedents and stuff, and I know you want to get him to camp, right? If they get him to camp. What's the difference between guaranteeing $7 million and $8.6? I know that's a ridiculous amount of money, but come on, right? Get the guy to camp. I think it's that important. You can play hardball for another couple of days and then, get in the room and make it happen. Have some common sense. Every year, and sometimes it's over offset language. Offset language simply means if we cut you and you still have guaranteed money and you sign somewhere else, however much you sign for there comes out of the money we owe you. It's not like when you're missing valuable time to get ready for a season and it's over, like little things like that, I get very frustrated if it's a player in a team that I think is going to be important that year. I think Nic Scourton's going to be important. Get it done. Please. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We do have the numbers game, and we will grab a couple of contestants in a second. But first, Dennis Cox has something he'd like to tell you.
Hey, folks. Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. I was out on vacation over the last week or so, and I was out in California. My girlfriend and I took a nice little trip out there, and one of the places that we hit was Yosemite National Park. I loved being able to drive around and see the scenery. And I'm not going to lie, there are several people riding around in the park on their motorcycles, and I got extremely jealous of them. I was like, I wish I had my motorcycle riding up and down these mountains, enjoying this wonderful view. But I also thought to myself during that time, well, I'd be a little bit hesitant being on the road on my motorcycle in an area that I don't know. So if you're ever going out as a motorcycle rider to an area that you might want to go explore and a destination place they want to go ride, talk to other riders and see if they've been on that journey before. See what their experience was and get a little bit of a lay of the land before you really just start ripping and roaring out there on the roads. So keep that in mind as a motorcycle rider to be safe, especially if you're going into territory that you are unfamiliar with, because as a place where there's a lot of sightseeing going on, guess what? A lot of people aren't always paying attention to the road. So you want to make sure that you are safe out there. If you are injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. You give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS. Again, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS is the number to call if you're injured in a motorcycle accident. And here's the thing about the Law Tigers as those attorneys. They're part of the motorcycle riding community, so they know what you're going through after an accident and what your gear is worth and what your bike is worth. So your case evaluation with Law Tigers, it's always free. They don't get paid a dime until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle injury lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs numbers game contestants. The prize for today, a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Music Festival at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Sunday, July 27th. If you want to win the tickets, you have to win the numbers game. We need 2 contestants. Call in now if you want to play. 919-860-5326 is the number to call. Once again, 919-860-5326. Call in now to play the numbers game. Coming up next.
The Adam Gold Show.
Everybody in Duke's starting 5 that made the Final Four got drafted. 3 of them in the top 10. Cooper Flagg 1, Konkanippel 4, Kamon Malawach went 10. Sion James and Tyrese Proctor also drafted. And I keep hearing, how did they not win the title? How did they not even make it to Monday night? Carolina had Jamison and Carter and didn't make it to the championship game 2 years in a row. It's sports.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hey, this is Luke with Newcomb & Company. We're a residential, commercial, plumbing, HVAC company who's been serving the community for over 70 years. Honesty is the biggest policy around here. You know, we take pride in everything we do, anything we touch. We're not one of those companies that come in, throw it in, and then you can't get a hold of them again. We're there with you, hand in hand. Here at Newcomb & Company, what stands apart from other companies is we actually do more than just AC and heat pumps. We do boilers, geothermals, furnaces, radiant floor, anything that is odds and ends that nobody else can touch is what we thrive on. At Newcomb & Company, we do same-day service. That's also another thing that helps us stand apart from other places is we do same-day service because we have enough professionals to get out to these houses to solve what the problems are. And we're on 24/7 on emergency basis, weekends, nights, holidays, you name it, we're there.
Newcomb & Company, your independent train dealer. Call 919-862-3000 or visit newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company, your comfort is our business.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in North Carolina. T&Cs apply.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. And, as always, we have an awesome prize. The prize for today, Outlaw Music Festival tickets coming to Coastal Credit Union Music Park later this month. And the contestants vying for the tickets, a couple of Clayton callers. We have Frank in Clayton and Scott in Clayton. They'll battle it out in the numbers game. As always, I will ask them both the same question. Dennis will listen in, and he will be the judge, pick his favorite answer. That person will get to go first. So actually, we'll use some breaking-ish news as an inspiration for our question. 9-time NBA All-Star Dame Lillard is finalizing a 3-year deal to rejoin the Portland Trailblazers. Who said you can't go home, right? A little regret there, left Portland, and turns out he wants to be a Portland for life. So I'll give you this one. Whoever who we have to ask first here, let me bring it up. We'll start with Frank and Clayton. Frank, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
All right. I don't know what your favorite team is or what sport it is, but I'm going to give you the option to add one player that was, and they could be retired or whatever, that was on your favorite team that left, and you can grab them and bring them back home. What player would you return back to your favorite team?
Boy, I'm a big Yankee fan, and I grew up in the area of the 70s. I'd say Reggie Jackson. He left the Yankees, and then he went to California, and I'd love to have him back. I know Steinbrenner said he regretted not re-signing him whenever that year was.
You know what, Frank? You hesitated at the beginning, and I felt bad. I was like, oh, is this question too niche? Is this hard? And then you gave a fantastic answer. So way to come through in the clutch, Frank. Stay on the line. We'll see if you get to go first. Scott and Clayton, can you hear me?
I can.
All right, same question to you. In honor of Dame Lillard, who appeared to be a Portland Trailblazers lifer, he left, right, forced his way to the Bucks, chasing a ring. That didn't work out. Now he's going back to Portland on a 3-year deal. Whoever your favorite team is or whatever team you follow the most, if you could grab somebody that left your favorite team and put them right back where they belong, back on the squad, who would you choose? And it could be anyone throughout the history, retired, still playing, whatever.
Kyle Schwarber with the Cubs.
Kyle. Well, that's very topical after the way the All-Star game ended. Schwarber hits a lot of home runs, that guy. Dennis, two answers, both from baseball, both.
Yeah.
Ironically, you could probably, at least right now with Schwarber, that 3 home run performance, pretty memorable. Reggie Jackson with a different 3 home run performance that was pretty memorable. Which one are you rolling with?
That's actually a tough one because they're completely different eras,
Yeah.
obviously. And Reggie Jackson, obviously,
he's the straw that stirs the drink.
Yeah, Mr. October and everything. It's just, I will. This is a tough one. I'm going to go Kyle Schwarber on this one for this one reason. When I was out on my vacation, I actually went to a Giants game and they played the Phillies, and I got to see Kyle Schwarber play. So I'll lean it with that one. Never tried to see Reggie Jackson
topical.
play. But yeah, I'll probably go with. I mean, the Yankees already had tons of great players. I'll go Kyle Schwarber to the Cubs. He did help them bring a World Series back.
I recently saw an interview with Reggie Jackson. He is, like, you know how people give Sean McVay or LeBron credit for, like, the memories and they can cite every play and they remember that play from 4 years ago? Let's run that again. Reggie Jackson still is that way. You ask him about, like, specific games, he's like, was so-and-so in left field and did he go 2 for 3? It's goodness gracious. How are you doing that? It's pretty unbelievable. So I forget who answered what. Who gets to go first here?
So that
Scott.
Scott. Yes.
Scott gets to go first. Frank, you'll have your chance. Just stay on hold there for a minute or two. Scott, are you ready to pick a category?
I am.
All right. The categories are NFL players that use wrestling moves as their celebrations, NFL players who were born in late July, NBA players, the most random assortment of active players we could find, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history.
I'll go with NFL players late July.
Okay. These are all players born in late July, as the category would say. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
29.
Incorrect. Bryce Young, Carolina Panthers.
He were 9.
Correct. Brian Blade, Seattle Seahawks.
89.
Correct. Alvin Kamara, New Orleans Saints.
41.
Correct. Terry Glenn, Dallas Cowboys.
To 83.
Correct. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
20.
Incorrect. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
27.
Incorrect. Joe Mixon, Houston Texans.
8.
28 is what we were looking for. 28 for Joe Mixon. You were all over it. You were 29, 27, 20. It was close, but 4 out of 5. This is like, I feel like I'm being negative here. 4 out of 5 is a very good number. We see 4 out of 5s win all the time. You got Young. For those of you playing at home, he got all the other 4, so you know the answers. Mixon, we were looking for 28. Scott, we'll see if it holds up. Go ahead and stay on hold, okay?
Thanks.
All right, there you go. Frank and Clayton, you are up next. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Perfect. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL players that use wrestling signature moves as celebrations, NBA players that are just randomly assorted active players, or NHL Hurricanes throughout history?
Hurricanes throughout history.
All right, beautiful. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. Actually, we did this same one yesterday. I think I may have told the people that update these lists that we did 2 NFLs yesterday, and we actually had an NHL. So we've already done this one on air. Can I have a Scout's honor that you did not listen nor memorize yesterday's numbers game?
I was out of town, so I was on a golf trip.
All right.
So no.
All right.
I have no clue.
Where was the golf trip?
Down in the Pinehurst area.
Okay, fair. We'll accept the details. Right, you got to make sure you got to press them one time. All right, so we will give you the NHL Hurricanes throughout history category, and I'll give you the team and the player. I will say the team, even though we know it in this category, to keep it fair with the other one timing wise. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. You need all 5 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Martin Necas, Carolina Hurricanes.
88.
Correct. Dmitry Orlov, Carolina Hurricanes.
7.
Correct. Brent Burns, Carolina Hurricanes.
8.
Correct. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Kirk McLean, Carolina Hurricanes.
9.
Incorrect. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Kirk McLean, Carolina Hurricanes.
17.
Incorrect. Brendan Smith, Carolina Hurricanes.
6.
Incorrect. You were getting closer. You were getting closer. Smith, 7 is what we were looking for. And McLean, we were looking for 1. I do always find it funny when it's like a basketball player that puts up a shot and he's immediately like left, where you say a number and you immediately go, that's not it. Which is what you did there with 17. Either way, 3 is a very solid number. Unfortunately, you ran into somebody that put up a 4. Hopefully you had fun.
Good job, Scott.
And hopefully you had fun at Pinehurst.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for calling in. That means Scott is the winner. Scott, congratulations.
Thank you.
You win Outlaw Music Festival tickets, so congratulations on that one. Go ahead and stay on the line, and Dennis will make sure you get your prize.
Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. There you go. That, by the way, Outlaw Music Festival, Coastal Credit Union Music Park on Sunday, July 27th. And you can win those tickets one more time tomorrow at about the same time. That'll be your last chance. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I want to tell you all about Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry, specifically the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. I talk often about the iconic watches that are available at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Everything from the Moon Watch, we're talking Speedmasters from Omega, pre-owned and vintage Rolexes, some of the models and reference numbers that are truly difficult to find. I want to make sure everybody does something. You have to be aware that when you are talking pre-owned and vintage, and they have the pre-owned and vintage Rolex, pre-owned and vintage Cartier, pre-owned and vintage Estate Omegas, you have to check in. Matter of fact, you should check in. Follow them on Fox & Bailey Watch Shop on Instagram, at Fox & Bailey Watch Shop, but also stop by the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. You can have a drink. You can listen to some music. They have a little seating area. You can enjoy yourself, but also you can see what the current selection looks like, right? There are awesome Rolexes walking through that door all the time, right? And you hear people stop in and they're looking for a specific model, and they can talk about availabilities and price on the pre-owned and vintage markets. It truly is a watch shop that is there to fulfill your dreams when it comes to the grails, right? The massive superstar dream watches that you have for your wrist. And then on top of that, the new models that are coming from Hamilton and Norcanes and all of the brands that they partner with. You have to stay up. If there's something you want specific, you have to stay up on them. It's the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Follow them on Instagram. I do. You should as well. At Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. It's easy to remember. And let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, on 99.9 The Fan. There are just 6 days until training camp for the Carolina Panthers. And we're talking full training camp, not rookies. We're talking everybody ready to practice. Just 6 days for the Carolina Panthers. Our question of the day for the Panthers is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider info on the upcoming season. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
You've got rhythm, your heart's got rhythm. Then one day your rhythm's off, and you've got AFib, atrial fibrillation. The good news is you've also got an AFib center, where specialists in AFib have multiple treatment options for you. Want more good news? Most of them are minimally invasive. Learn more at wakemed.org. And what do you say you and your heart get the band back together?
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
It's game 9 in Cary. North Carolina FC takes on Indy 11 this Friday, July 18th at First Horizon Stadium. Grab your tickets now at tickets.northcarolinafc.com and don't miss a moment of the action.
What sounds like a fun weekend?
Let's rent e-bikes and have a picnic.
What does not sound like a fun weekend?
We need to fix the gutters. Let's make 6 trips to the hardware store and still end up with leaky spots.
Preserve your weekend, your home, and investment, and call Preserve Services instead. Our Preserve team excels in interior and exterior painting and home repairs. We're your one-stop shop in the Triangle for jobs you need done, but don't want to tackle. And get this, you don't pay a penny until the job's done. Schedule today at PreserveServices.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody, one more chance to be a finalist to win your weight in meat. The last 2 weeks, we've been qualifying a finalist every weekday at 4 o'clock. Tomorrow, we'll grab our 10th and final finalist. And then on Monday, we will randomly select one of those 10 to win their weight in meat. If you want to be in the mix and you're not one of the 9 finalists we've already qualified, text BEEF to 919-860-5326. Even if you've done so already, maybe you texted in last week, maybe earlier this week, every day you can text it in and get one more entry. BEEF to 919-860-5326 is the key word. Tomorrow at 4 o'clock, make sure your phone is on, somewhere you can hear it or feel the vibration, because you have to answer the phone, jump on the air for a minute or two, and then you will be one of the finalists. Then on Monday, you might win. It's all brought to you by the NC Beef Council. Beef, it's what's for dinner. The winner will receive a gift card to First Hand Foods. First Hand Foods sells pasture-raised local meats from NC farmers. 6 days until full all-out training camp for the Carolina Panthers. We're not talking just rookies reporting. Like, I always think it's funny, like, not pitchers and catchers when the whole team is there to practice. We are less than a week. It's a week from yesterday until training camp starts for the Panthers. We've been for a long time now asking a question of the day every day until training camp about the Carolina Panthers. Now, today's question was going to be about Nic Scourton and his impact, but we've talked about that a lot, so I'm going to ask this question quickly. Dennis, has their second-round pick, Nic Scourton, signed his contract or agreed to a contract as of yet?
He has not.
Okay, so we're still waiting on that. It does appear as if second-rounders, the momentum is going towards signings happening, so
those dominoes are falling.
We'll expect it soon. But I will use a question where Nic Scourton could be the answer. Question of the day is, who will lead the Panthers in sacks this season? And then side note, addendum, follow-up, will anyone reach double digits in sacks? They've only had 2 since 2018 and none since 2022. Now here's the I guess nominees. Like if we handle this like a award show, and the nominees are there's Pat Jones, the free agent signing from the Vikings that they made a few months ago. Princely Uman-Mielen, 3rd round pick. Nic Scourton, 2nd round pick. Derek Brown, big man in the middle. DJ Wanham, one of the big free agency signings of last offseason. A'Shawn Robinson, who actually led them in sacks last season.
5.5.
Or Turk Wharton, the free agency signing, even more lucrative than the Pat Jones signing from the Chiefs last year. When you take into account regular and postseason, I believe he was at like 8.5, 9 sacks a season ago.
More of an interior defensive lineman, though. But
for sure. And played alongside Chris Jones, which helps, but also he's playing alongside Derek Brown, so there'll be double teams going there as well. To be completely honest, this is a wide open race. I don't see anybody getting to double-digit sacks.
I don't see it either.
But I think, I just listed whatever that is, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 names. If they're all between 4 and 8, right? I think this is kind of the Moneyball thing. Thank you to the guy that always points out I reference Moneyball too much, where it's like you're not trying to replicate 120 sack player. You're trying to get it in the aggregate. You're trying to have 4 guys average 5 apiece. There's your 20 sack player. Like you're trying to get it with volume. Derek Brown, for example, I think if he has 5 or 6 sacks this year, he's an all-pro because he's that good at stopping the run.
For sure.
And I think he's one of the best, if not the best, defensive tackle in the game with that. I don't think you lead a team. At least I hope you don't lead a team like you did last year with like 5.5 or 6.5 sacks. So I hope he puts up 5.5 or 6 sacks and does not lead the team, even though that would be a awesome season for Derek Brown. A'Shawn Robinson, we saw him, I think, have a little bit more pass rush pop than we expected last year. He's another super big dude. He is like you walk by him in the hallway guy and go, goodness gracious.
Oh, A'Shawn?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a scary dude to stand next to.
So,
I say that in all due respect. Like, for real. Like, he's a scary dude. Like, I'm on his side.
Whatever you want me to have said there, A'Shawn, that's what I said. But you don't think of those dudes to be the pass rushers as often. A lot of times those are the run stoppers, those anchor down guys. Tershawn Wharton's an interesting one for me because some of the advanced analytics don't love him as a pass rusher, pass rush win rate and things like that. But he does get home a lot. It's one of those things where it's, again, Moneyball, right? If he's such a good hitter, why doesn't he hit good? If he's such a bad pass rusher, why does he get to the quarterback so often? It's one of those, can he keep it rolling? I'm fascinated by the two rookies. I think Nic Scourton, his college career is super interesting because his weight has gone up and down and he's been asked to do different things. When he's been a true stand-up edge rusher and thinner during his college career, he's been a really effective pass rusher. Then they got him up. I think he was listed at 285 this year, and some of his pass rush stats have gone down. But obviously, if you're, a speed rusher and you're 260 and they ask you to put on 25 pounds, you are being asked to do some other things, anchor edges and stop the run and a bunch of other stuff. And it does appear as if he dropped a bunch of weight, at least before the combine. If he comes in, 260, I think there's a chance he leads the team in edge rushing and pass rush. Princely Uman-Mielen, he is edge rusher, the kind of, prototype, right? He's a guy that I don't know if he'll play a ton of early down football for them, but you get somebody in 3rd and 11, go get him.
He's out there.
See ball, get ball. Yep. Go pin your ears back, which maybe means if the Panthers are significantly better than they were a year ago and they are ahead on the scoreboard a little bit, which hasn't happened much in the last 2 years, and you do get teams in more passing situations, maybe Princely could be the guy that leads you in sacks, even without a super high usage rate. This is one of those races where it's like, I could be a whole bunch, which I think will be very exciting, right? I don't think this will be a year. If you remember, was it last year? I may be conflating, blurring the last 2 years a little bit, where like 2 or 3 times throughout the year they waived the player leading them in sacks.
Yeah, that's a couple times.
Where Eku Leota and they just
Jaden Peavy.
Yeah, Peavy. That's the one I.
There's
I
a name
hit.
for you.
I couldn't hit it, but they were leading the team in sacks, and they were waived because the leader had 1.5 through like 3 or 4 games, and they didn't actually play that well. They just had a couple good plays. I don't think that'll be the case this year. I think these guys, they have enough depth now where most of the rotation will be players that are intentionally in the rotation, not guys that are there just because, I don't know, you go, give it a go, PV. Let's see what you got. Like, I don't think it'll be a lot of that. But at the same time, I don't think they have the one dude that's going to go get 15 sacks and be a Pro Bowler, although I think could have Pro Bowlers on the inside with significantly less sacks. So I say all of that to say this is like, I'll tell you what I just did. And golfers, you know exactly what I'm talking about. First tee, what do? You get ahead of all your excuses, right? You get ahead of them all. My back's been a little tight, and I haven't been able to get out on the range as much. And last night I didn't sleep well. My neck's a little stiff. You say all that on the first tee before you start playing, just in case you play bad. And then you go, well, I was talking about my back, right? I just said all of the reasons why it's really tough to predict who's going to lead the team in sacks. Now I'm going to give my choice, but if I'm way wrong, I'm going to go, well, I said it's tough to predict. I was not confident in my selection. I'm doing like the annoying golfer thing, but hey, that's what you go. I think I'm going to go bold.
Okay.
I think I'm going Uman Mielen.
Really?
I think he was drafted for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
To give them pop on the edge getting after the quarterback. I think darn near everybody else is a more complete player than he is. But I think he's there. Like they're telling him now, like, successful season for you is like 8 sacks or more. Bummer season for you is 5 sacks or less. And that's all you got to worry about.
Let's go get to the quarterback, man.
See ball, get ball. Passing situations, third downs, like that's where he's going to be out there. And I think that's, there's something to be said for simplifying everything for a rookie and just giving him one goal. And I like his outlook. I think he is the appropriate amount, the good amount for an edge rusher of ridiculously arrogant. All right, when they called him for the draft, hey, we're making you the blank selection in the 3rd round. He said, what took you so long?
Yeah.
And then he said, I'm going to make you break the bank in 3 years. And he said, the reason why I haven't shown much but speed rush is because in college it was so easy to speed rush. I didn't have to use all my pass rush moves. Like, I think, receivers and edge rushers kind of have to be that way. They have to be super confident, borderline arrogant. I think it fits. I want Princely Uman Mielen.
I know we got a couple minutes left here, but I was actually thinking for the similar reasons, Pat Jones. Pat Jones in Minnesota.
Yep.
Minnesota last year, he had 7 sacks, but he played only 46% of the snaps last year. And I think with Carolina, because he has 2 rookies that are going to be coming in, he's probably going to be playing just more snaps in general.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it would not surprise me if he's at 8 or 8.5, which might lead the team.
He's on my short list. And I think he was similarly brought in like for that reason, right? He's one of the guys that was he'll be asked to do more because he is a veteran and he's more experienced and he has some experience with some guys on the team, meaning I think in the coaching staff. But I do think very similarly, like, priority number 1 for him is getting after the quarterback.
And he only started 1 game last year. Like, he true like situational pass rusher.
Which I'm not sure he'll be like the first guy out there on the defensive line for him this year.
May or may not be. Depends on what.
If you're looking,
it depends on how Scourton and some of these other guys elevate. Because let's be real, Ejiro Evero, a little slow to play rookies.
True. Actually, that might be the number 1 reason why my pick doesn't happen, which would be wildly frustrating if they're showing pop. But right now, the starting lineup, at least according to ESPN. Derek Brown, Bobby Brown, didn't have him in the list. He's a run stuffer. Turk Wharton, DJ Wanham, and you're looking at Nic Scourton as the strong side outside line or strong linebacker. They got their linebackers are edge rushers in a lot of ways. It's part of that 3-4. But they don't have, at least on ESPN, they don't have Pat Jones. They have him backing up DJ Wanham. But if he's coming off the bench for edge rushing, I think, again, it's similar to what I said with Princely Uman Mielen. That about does it for us here on The Drive. Dennis is back. How about that one?
Welcome to be here.
He'll be back tomorrow as well as we wrap up the week with another show of The Drive at 3 o'clock tomorrow. In the meantime, text in beef to 919-860-5326. You might just win your weight in meat because of it. And subscribe to our YouTube channel, 99.9 The Fan. Trying to build a community there. We're up over 18,000 subscribers, and we want to go for 20. So please subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Other than that, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Jalen Hurts may be the most disrespected quarterback we have ever seen. He has championed the most unstoppable play in the history of the sport in the tush push. He's been to the Super Bowl twice, and he beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And you're going to tell me that this guy is the 9th-ranked quarterback in the NFL? Are you out of your mind?
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And you know, we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED through a 100% online process. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to Hims.com/joy. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain.